I said it first.
All right, Buzz, before you go on, 100%, we're saying Jesse's on the show now, right? Oh, okay, perfect. All right, hello, everyone, and welcome to the 17th episode of Second Sons. As always, I am Roy Rogers, formerly the New York City Meta, currently the Philadelphia Meta. There's literally nothing going on in my apartment right now because my fiance, after our engagement photos tonight, was not feeling particularly well. So she's in bed, so there's nothing cool like Assassin's Creed Odyssey on or that weird haunted show she was watching before. Again, as always, I'm Roy Rogers. And joining me today, as usual, is Aaron Glazer, who does not get to speak in this segment. And we are joined by, I feel like, Sid, you actually haven't been on an episode in a while, but you were on the last one, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. What's going on here?
It was like your trip
someone misses one episode.
The Disney World kind of like threw me off in the sense of that. I like the beard coming back though.
Well, it comes back with a vengeance. It comes back fast. It's getting ready to get shaved though. I'm starting to find particles. There's particles in it now.
Clean shaven worlds.
You know what? Anything's possible. The whim can strike me at any moment.
We're already giving that world's content. I'm pretty excited. And then of course we are with our tech maestro Buzz Aldrin, who has like a fancy new setup that's supposedly going to make doing Second Sons easier on his end and allow us to do some different content in the future.
Yes,
is that right?
And directly on that, Sam Bratz wants to call in later, if that's okay.
Sam can call in whatever
Absolutely.
he wants. As Sam is, as everyone knows, my favorite world champion. So the only one who could compete with him in my heart is Ryan Jones. So we've had Ryan on the show, but never Sam. So I am absolutely pro having Sam on the show. So Sam can come in whenever he wants. And we are joined in our fifth spot since Sandy is too busy Tindering it up and Chris is working. We have our newest second son, Jesse Carpenter. How you doing, Jesse?
I'm doing wonderful. Excited to guest spot for No Longer and be an official member. That's exciting. So, no, I'm excited to talk about World Championships and throwing the Soberfest recap and everything else. It's exciting. It's a good time of the year.
So let's jump into the big news from this past weekend, at least in the U.S., which was, of course, here on the East Coast, we had Thrones Toberfest 2018, which I believe was the 6th Thrones Toberfest overall, and was hosted here in Philadelphia. It was won by Team Greyjoy, headed by Mike Aroro, who will be at Worlds, who's kind of been the breakout star out here in the Northeast. This was his first full year playing competitive Thrones, and he's had amazing success.
I think the U.S. as a whole, actually.
He might, he might be in the U.S. as a whole. He's definitely one of the best new players, like real new players, because, new 2.0 players aren't new players at this point since we're like 3 years into the game. And, if Jesse was the breakout star of 2017, then Mike is probably the breakout star of 2018. His team won, Team Greyjoy, amazing. And then, of course, who won, Jesse, who won the individual championship?
Maybe the only person who could give Mike a run for his money if he went to more than 3 tournaments a year. But my best friend from home, Daryl Weber, he's literally been to 4 tournaments in his life. He final tables them all or wins them. He's good. So he played some spicy builders. And that's a lot coming from me because I fucking hate builders with a passion. But he played some spice for sure. And it was a really big deal for me to because I kind of taught him the game. I brought him in. And to see him take down a tournament like that, not only as his king, as regent, but as his friend, it was really cool to see.
Hey, Jesse, how much did you pay for him?
$4 for joke card.
Yes, so to clear up a couple of things, because there was definitely some kibitzing on Facebook, which is always fun, about the fact that Daryl was not in the draft. Initially, Daryl couldn't attend. But one of our players that was in the draft, Joe Carr, dropped out. In order to keep the number of players that we had, we slotted Daryl into Joe's spot. That was voted on by the regents and was approved, I think, almost anonymously. I think
it was unanimously. It was unanimous.
It was unanimous.
It was unanimous because it had to be unanimous for it to go through.
So yeah. So even though Daryl was not paid for by anyone, he did come in. He did come in that way. So that was it. We have some other Thronetoberfest participant here. Glazer, what was your Thronetoberfest experience?
It was fantastic. I was with Team Martell. Unfortunately, I think I did an overall good job as a regent, but unfortunately, I seem to have given 2 players a deck that shat the bed. The Martell Kraken players did not do especially well, and I take full blame responsibility for that, for giving them that deck. However, Martell had 4 players make the cut, and I made the top 4. Only defeated by Daryl. So I'll take it. Really great tournament. Roy always runs an A+ tournament.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. That makes me feel good. Because I definitely appreciate everyone who came to Philadelphia. I mean, we had a 2-day event. The main thing that I learned is I am never running a Melee event ever again. Mostly because Melee rounds last fucking forever. So, like, even when you give people 90 minutes to play their Melee rounds, they still cannot end them within 20 minutes after time is called. If I ever run Melee again, I'm going to immediately say the game ends. Just ends.
That's because you're too nice.
You know whose fault that is? That's Sandy's fault for bringing builders into the format.
To be
now
fair,
everyone thinks they can play control.
A couple minutes after time was called, because Than free-folked Sandy to death. So
I was like, I only got to play 1 round of Melee, and I played Homage to Buzz, HRD High Card, and I crushed my round.
You did. Melee actually turned out really nice. James McKenna was our Melee champion. Congratulations to James. He toughed it out. There was only like a dozen people left at the end of the Melee event, but it was a lot of fun. Mike's Melee cards turned out amazing. So really if you're interested in those, I'll have them at Worlds for sale or for trade. So if you love Melee like Buzz does, and many of our European listeners / viewers, you should hit me up at Worlds or Red Saturday, and I will gladly trade or sell them to you. So, but again, from my perspective, I didn't flip any cardboard all weekend. Thronetoberfest went really well. I really appreciate all 77 people coming. Everyone showed up, which was really cool. I was a little afraid that everybody would show up. We had a couple of people drop, but that happens sometimes. They even have it at War.
When you're on Team Stark, you just have to drop sometimes.
Well, I think if Dennis had won his winning in, he may not have dropped for the last round. But I don't know. He had to go back to his dog sitter, and Balthus was a little unhappy with his performance, so he dropped. But it was overall just a really amazing time, and particularly if you made it out on Friday night, you got to see some truly epic level throne shenanigans that was just amazing.
By a non-Thrones player, no less. But let's
by a non-Thrones player, by my beloved fiance, who got us kicked out of a bar. It was pretty funny.
Wait a minute. Details for the viewers at home.
She attempted to...
Wait, Roy. She's applying for positions. Maybe not. It's bad when I'm the one like, hey, maybe keep this off the air. Yeah. Cool.
All right. Bruce has
come talk to us at Worlds for all
or you can type it up in the chat, which will disappear upon the end of this cast. But you should probably not type that. But hey, Sid, you have some questions, somewhere between questions and complaints about how the cut was handled. So let's discuss.
I don't know that I have complaints about how the cut was handled, but now I knew going in, because I read details, even though I wasn't even a participant. I knew that cut games were not going to be counted for the overall team event, but maybe we can talk briefly about why that decision was made. Us out here, participants in the original Thrones War format love cut games adding. We think it adds a lot to it. What? So let's talk about why they weren't added. You didn't know that? Oh my god.
No, I had no idea. It was not constantly shown to me over the last 2 days.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, so there were 2 reasons, as I think I replied to Trey or Neil, I can't remember, was that there were sort of 2 reasons. One was logistical, which was that unlike Thrones War, and thanks to Wizards of the Coast, we were unable to host the event on a 3-day American weekend. So that made it a little bit difficult for people to make the second day. We had somewhere, and I didn't check the melee results because they're on my laptop, and I didn't want to break my laptop. Somewhere like 25 to 35 people not show up for day 2 for the melee event or for the cut, including one cut participant because they needed to go to work or they had to catch flights or for whatever reason. And so we had about a third to a half of the people not come to the second day simply because, I was supposed to be at work on Monday. I called out, but because I was just exhausted. But I was at least nominally supposed to be at work on Monday, and most people were. That was sort of the logistical reason. There wasn't that like cushion that Thrones War has being on President's Day weekend of a lot of people being able to, even if your job doesn't like give you that Monday off, it's a lot easier to take President's Day off than it is other days of the year. And then, of course, there was the drama/political reason, which was the number one piece of feedback that I received from Jesse's tournament, both personally and in public, was that that having the cut be counted for the team event is unfair and can lead to Platt Rogers level shenanigans. And after the very polite and normal and constructive criticism that I received in the lead up to Thronestoberfest, I decided it would probably be best and most appropriate for the event that I was running to not count cut games.
And I actually
it ended up working. Greyjoy ran the field so bad that it ended up not really mattering. I think even by Trey's math.
I spent the whole last round trying to get Jesse's team to just concede to Martell so we could take out Lannister from number 2.
No,
I thought
so like even if we decided to just instead crush Team Martell the last round, but even if the cut games would have mattered, we like Night's Watch still would have lost like by a game and a half to Greyjoy. I think we still would have lost, but we would have taken Lannister over for second. But I just scrolled back. I scrolled back through the Regents chat when Roy brought up the actual idea, and there were like out of the 8 kings, there were only 2 kings that wanted the cut games to matter. So like it was pretty unanimous. Like me and Chris Vack like lost the vote majorly. So we were the only 2 kings who voted that the cut games should matter. So like it was all that stuff, and then Roy asked us as kings, like, and we voted on it, and they all voted that they did want the cut games to matter, and that was pre-draft. So they knew when they drafted that the cut games would matter.
So I'd like to explain why I voted the way I did too. So beyond it being just a team event that I feel like should be decided by the team portion, I feel like it involves an extra element of luck in pairings in the cut beyond just like how many make the cut. Because like a lot of Team Greyjoy like dominated the Swiss, right? It would have felt very unfair if they like a lot of Greyjoy players straight eliminated each other, and no Martell players ended up playing each other. And I don't think any Night's Watch played each other until the finals, right? So like by sheer luck of seeding, you can not run into your own team and then have a better chance of accruing points.
So
and that kind of thing.
You can do manual seeding though. You can.
I mean, if that was never put on the table as an option.
Sure,
if manual seeding were an option, then I'd have to reconsider and make a discussion.
I also think it like values and devalues houses percentage on like if you would take Greyjoy because you think you're gonna get more Greyjoy in the cut, like Greyjoy would have went for more, right? Like you just think you can get him in the cut. Like you don't mind taking a cheaper house if you don't have to, if the cut games don't matter, because only the Swiss matter, so only your bad matchup matters, right? And like you may not get as many people in the cut, but you can still compete with wins and stuff there, I believe. And that's why I think the cut game should matter. But like I was not opposed to it. I mean, if Pinch Powder doesn't exist, it would have been a lot more competitive tournament.
Also,
anyway,
let's be clear though, only really for most of the tournament, like only Stark and Targaryen were really out of it. Like Barra, Night's Watch, Lannister, and Martell were all at certain points within striking distance of Greyjoy.
So
I'm about to
from the round one,
Lannister, right? Like because like Lannister, in the way the format was set up, had a decent shot of winning and competing, and like that. I'm not trying to insult anyone, and Lannister had completely like great players. Like I'm even going to prop Mirando, King of Swiss, right? Like they played fantastically.
They played at least 4 cool decks.
Yeah, but those 4 cool decks, and this is not an insult to them, but like those 4 cool decks when we got to the cut and they were playing other top players didn't have much of a chance because they were still underpowered. And I feel like it did a lot to even out the factions in a way that I thought really benefited the tournament, except for Greyjoy because Pinch came out. But like,
I mean, their best deck that's not their cool deck. It beat me in the top 16. Like Thirsty and Crossing can still do work.
Right, they're not cold deck, but that's their one shot in the cut, right? Like the rest of those were kind of screwed in the cut, unless
Jess
they got
dropped out of the cut. I just talked about this. I think Klansman had much of a better chance than like people gave her. She went 6-1 with Klansman.
Of course, you think Klansman had a better chance.
But I mean, Jess was convinced that she was going to win her first game against Fred.
Oh, it beats
and then
Martel
lose her
Wars
second
for sure.
game. So
Vic is a real problem for that deck for sure. Oh, I'll kneel your Harrenhal and your tower. You lose.
But are there any questions? I don't have the chat open right now. Are there any questions in the chat that people can take a look at why we sort of bring this up?
People want to see Buzz's face.
Coming around to the cut, though, I think actually, to be completely honest, the thing I'm most proud to sort of adding to the history of Thrones War is I think that X2 cut is the best way to do it. Ryan and Jesse and I talked a little bit about this privately before the event went, and I really do suggest, and I've suggested this to Ryan, so it's not like I'm doing this publicly, is that he does X2 cut in the future, and I think he kind of said publicly that that's what he plans to do, a variant of it, because just like having done the pairings now, strength of schedule is extremely wonky for this tournament, right? If you end up you're like 4-1, and the best player that you're playing against on the other team, like what happened to Stark at last Thrones War, is much lower. That can knock you out of the cut on tiebreakers. It doesn't necessarily, but it could. And I was sort of like looking at how our initial cut to top 20-ish looked, and it looked good. Like it looked like all the people who were there, based on their play, based on their matchups, deserved a shot at the championship, at the individual championship, and I really liked that. Now, of course, the Treys and the Freds and all the math wonks, the Aaron Joneses of the world can figure out like mathematically what's the most sound way if you choose to make the cut count for the team championship. What's the most mathematically sound way to do it? But I do think that and I like X2 cuts in general because it gives you a very clear goal. It's not there's once you reach that 3 wins, 4 wins, where you're going to be, what you're trying to achieve, and what you need to do for the rest of the Swiss, versus like, I can go. I mean, there were tournaments that I played in before the X2 cut became standard, where it's like I'm 6-1, but there's a chance that or 5-1, and there's a chance I won't make it on tiebreakers, right?
It's such a terrible internal
like
feeling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like missing a cut on strength of schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking about like a store championship, I'm talking about like a real tournament. Missing a cut on strength of schedule is a terrible feeling. Like you feel like you've played well enough to perform to make a cut, and like it's just it feels so bad.
It's happened to me 3 times at Gen Con.
Oh, it's just terrible. And like the X2 cut that everyone's going to did that originate at Stolic? Is that where it started?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Those guys are geniuses.
Like most good things.
Yeah.
I think also
Americans didn't think of it.
I mean, also like unlike like Magic or other events, right? There's seldom a prize for not making the cut, like, or there's making the top 8, or there's no points that matter. There's no payout, right? If you don't make whatever's chosen to be as the cut, it could be top 32, top 16, whatever. You generally, there's no prize for being 34th, right? Even though you had the same record as 32, right? Unlike if you're at a Grand Prix, at the very least, you're still finishing the money. You make your money back for what you spent there, and you get your pro points that you can use to grind levels, right? I think since we only award glory and plastic to people and sweet playmats, whatever playmats are made out of rubber, the more the more clear and generous we can be with the cuts, particularly since again prizing so often based around it, the better. I think it makes it a fairer competitive experience. So I'm glad my event added that to Thrones War. So that's sort of my major takeaway. besides doing the pairing takes forever. And if you complain about how long it took, you have no way to understand how difficult.
So what do you guys think the right decision for the play-in round is? Like, should that count toward the team wins? Should people who got a bye get a team win?
No.
See, I think.
Wait. Oh, you mean so like I got a bye to the top 16. Should that have counted as a team win for me?
Yeah. I think if games are played, the round should count toward win totals, assuming some people are going to count the cut.
I don't know. I actually don't know how I feel about it. Would it have made Team Night's Watch win?
Night's Watch ends up in this place.
Classic.
Night's Watch ends up in this place, I think. But
I don't know.
But I feel like I don't like the idea of like if almost every game counts, right? I don't like one round of games just being like whatever. That one was just extra. Like that for whatever reason just straight up annoys me. Like all these other rounds counted, right? Like why does that one just not? Like, and I get the like semi logic of it, but there were still like 8 games or 4 games played, right? Like,
yeah,
to me that suggests that like, sure, give all the other people a bye because they won, right? Like that's their benefit. That extra win is their benefit for getting that high enough record, and then all the X2s have to suck it up and play it out.
So Trey and Chad is making the argument, that we may be kind of over kind of reacting on the impact of these cut wins. I mean, there's only 15 wins up for grabs. He's saying, right? Once you make the cut, whereas 280 wins are up for grabs in the big round robin. Are we making too much about not including them, thinking like it skews the data too much? Because we actually looked at it, right? And Greyjoy still wins even if you count the cut.
The question
Greyjoy was also the most dominating team in
so the thing is about that is yes, like unlike. I mean,
after every single round, you would walk around the store, and all you would hear is, "Yeah, I got double pinched. I got double pinched. Oh, he double pinched me. Oh, he got me." Like so, you would just hear it all fucking day.
The variance of the card pool and where the meta is right now makes it a little bit different than like Jesse's event or Thrones War. Although like Night's Watch, we kind of ran the Swiss a little bit, but we didn't like run over anyone. Like we did really well, but we didn't like steamroll anyone. And then the same is true.
6 builders decks, right?
Right. Yeah. At Jesse's event, no one ran over anyone. Right. Like it was actually relatively close, and that was, of course, the core of the Team Targaryen complaint with what happened in the final round was that it was very close, and the gaming of the system that Platt and myself did gave us an undeserved edge into those crucial 15, 16, 18 games that were in the cut, right? That gave us access to that. So in my particular event, because of where Greyjoy is in the meta, and the fact that I do think that many teams underestimated the power of pinch decks, Greyjoy just ran over people. Some of that was variance, like how Greyjoy ran over Targaryen the way it did. I just truly do not understand, but it happened.
Round 1, it was 8-1. Greyjoy beat Targ 8-1, and we were all like, "We lose. We can't do anything."
I have a theory about what happened to Targ. My theory about what happened to Targ is twofold. Targ had a lot of good players, but they didn't have any real like A players that are like constantly in the game, constantly in the meta, constantly in major tournaments. And I think that's a real downfall, because then you go up against someone like Greyjoy who's running something relatively new from the new pack. They're running this double pinch deck. And like that kind of thing when you're not ready is just a severe like pullback. And like
I actually think there's this other thing. I think also the Targ mentality was that so Kings take a couple different routes. So Than put his best players on what's probably their more fun and not best decks. He put their worst players on their best decks. And it's panned out before for Kings, but it didn't pan out for him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Night's Watch, I put my best players on my best decks.
That's what I did when I was Tyrell King. So.
Same here. In general,
I found decks that fit people.
So Martell Wolf had Greyjoy Wolf. Night's Watch Wolf. That's that deck. Had to be one of your worst decks, right? Because you put that $1 chud on him.
Yeah, I put Gaiman on it because he's not very
I mean,
good.
we should probably get to that topic in a minute. But I think
Collusion.
oh god, the C word, of
we have
course.
to talk about that.
Um,
I forgot all about it.
but trust me, that was actually the number one
That's the
piece of
more
overall
interesting
feedback
topic.
that I've received.
Definitely.
Really?
Oh
What
yeah,
was
it
it?
was improved draft integrity. One of them is definitely Andrew Kim, because I'm very used to reading Andrew Kim's feedback in these forums. But it's other people as well. But I want to slightly sideline that because, yeah, I do. But I do think that teams underestimated Greyjoy. I think on a couple of reasons. I think that on paper, Greyjoy as a faction seemed a little weaker. Mike's team had like Emberly and obviously Tom. But getting Tom, like you buy yourself 6 wins. That's right. Tom lost 1 round, right? Yep. Minimum, right? Like I think at every Thrones War event, Tom has only lost 1.
Yeah,
maybe.
Maybe.
Until the cut, then he's
totally. The cut. But I'm talking about in the Swiss, right? You buy yourself 6 wins minimum, 5 if Tom is like hungover or something. So let's say you buy. let's be ungenerous to Malucci and give him 5 wins. But you're buying yourself 5 wins and someone you don't have to worry about as king. Be like, Tom's going to play what Tom wants to play, and he's going to play it well. So that lets you focus your attention on other players, right? And find.
Well, he's also one of the best players in the world that he will play a safe deck.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like spending the money I did on Colt, like. We got lucky when we got
lucky.
You have. It's like the same thing as like if you spend money on me as a player, like I'm not going to tell you I'm going to play the best deck. Like if you draft Malucci, you're buying those wins for sure. He will play the best deck you let him play always.
Seriously, in choosing decks for long lances, it is constantly a fight with Jesse not to just play trash. Fucking every tournament. He's like, what's the worst deck I can play? What's really bad for the meta? I'm gonna win with it, boys. And we're like,
I just think
God.
I just
Got
like
him, boys.
cards.
But like I've had this experience as a king where you work with your players and you get the best deck set up, and you're working with a player or two, and you build them something amazing, and you work with them, and then they're just like, you know what? I got this homebrew. I think I'm just gonna play that. And you're like, no.
Hashtag Team Stark. Hashtag Stark 18.
Hey, I was not part of that team. I'm speaking of a different situation. But like, no matter how much work you put in, and even some of my teammates know, like we put in the work, and they wanted to play their brew, and they tanked hard, and it was just like I'm not gonna. I told you so at the tournament. But inside I was like, we could have used those wins.
Yeah, but I fucked over 2 of my players, right? Like I didn't make them, but I suggested they play a brew that just and it crushed in testing, and then we got to the day of the tournament and just didn't perform.
Look, that happens.
Like, it can happen. It can happen multiple ways, right? Like,
right.
And sometimes,
some people run really, really hot.
Matt played a deck that we started building together, but he ended up getting other people and working on his own, and he started 5-0. Sometimes the person who insists on
top 8, right? Craft.
Yeah, that was
8.
He lost in top 16.
Oh, top 16. Yeah.
Top 16.
Yeah, but that was Craft and AJ's brew, because that was the deck that it was like a reiteration of the brew that AJ took to Worlds last year. That's a good deck.
Mm-hmm.
Craft played well. Craft put in a lot of time on that deck. He put in the work, and so that's what I think is so funny.
At my event, or Jesse's event, rather.
Yeah, so that's why I find so interesting, when tacking for these events and building decks and stuff. A deck will run hot, Glazer said, in testing, it's so good. But then you just don't see the matchups you tech for, because they're just these random decks you run into, which I find it the most interesting part of the format. You can't test against Night's Watch Wolf and have a good matchup, and then you play Night's Watch Cohort and you're like, oh, okay, well, I don't know what's happening. Yeah, correct, yeah.
Night's Watch Crossing, you're just like, oh,
yes,
okay,
exactly.
Here we go.
That reason, I think, is part of Turk's downfall. That reason is why, having me or you or Luch or someone who's completely insane about the competitive meta, because there is no top deck that we weren't at least fucking aware of. You know what I mean? And I feel if you're not super into the competitive meta, you go in and you see a deck you've never seen, you're like, I can't even imagine what this could be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think there were a couple decks at the tournament that took the tournament by storm that people weren't expecting. Like the Martell Crossing, I don't think people were expecting a Martell Crossing to start 5-0. You just don't see that happening.
Every
like-
Lannister deck.
I don't think people were expecting
Well, no, I
Clansman
mean,
to go
Crossing.
6-1. I don't think
That's
people were
what I said.
expecting. I don't think people were expecting
sarcastic.
Joe Mirando's Worlds deck from 2016
Plus
switched
Powder.
out 8 cards.
To
The most,
be
the most
fair,
impressive and
I expected him to play Lanny Kraken, not Lanny Wolf.
the,
But
the most,
I
wait, the
expect
most
it.
impressive and dumbest thing about that is in our top whatever match 16. He plays pinch on me, bounces my guy, and all of a sudden Keith freaks out in the background and like calls over Roy to be like, Can I tell him? So I'm like, what? I'll just tell him if there's a fucking play mistake. So I look around. He spent that entire tournament not knowing pinch wasn't terminal. Like he learned it in the top 16. I was like, seriously, dude? He was like, that's broken. I was like, well, the game is broken. Get used to it.
well, he
the
didn't
best
set up
moments-
2 limited cards this tournament, as far as I know. So it was
That
an
we know.
advance.
That's good.
One of the best moments from my entire tournament, even though I hate builders, is watching Daryl crush Keith Isaac with builders. And Keith is just like, oh, you think you're so good. And then Daryl ends up winning the fucking tournament. Fuck you.
All right. We should bring this around because we have a long discussion of Worlds.
Yeah,
Ahead
we
of
gotta
us.
talk about King
The
Lee
draft.
bullshit.
we have to. This is too good. The
This
is too-
degradation, the moral degradation of the East Coast and Midwest
I mean,
bronze
I don't know.
communities.
so
It's on
can, I
trial.
can I explain what happened?
I have
Can
no
I
idea
explain
what you're
what happened?
talking
Look,
about.
The number one thing is this. No. Glazer,
wait.
be quiet. Is Matt Gaiman is worth exactly one fake dollar. Everyone knows this. That is all he is worth.
All I
100%.
did was I say, I nominate Matt Gaiman for $1. And then no one else said anything. That's
Yeah,
all
for
that
some-
happened. That's
for
the
some-
whole story.
So
No
some
movement.
some king or another might have cut a deal with everyone, and then nothing happened, and then a few other days.
Uh-oh. Glazer froze.
Bye-bye.
I actually-
deals with
no.
another region, and notice the language here, made deals with everyone, and then, like as a king, I go, oh shit, everyone's making deals. I'm gonna have to pay real costs for my shit while they're getting top shit for $1. So then I started making deals, and at that point, all hell broke loose. And
Here's the thing.
everyone was like, "Ooh,
Every single king made a deal with every other king except John Palmer. John Palmer was just like, yeah, I'll give you whatever you want. I don't need to make deals. I don't care. But I'm dead serious. Every single king made a deal with every single one. I put up Gaiman first because I wanted it to happen early because I knew someone would immediately stab themselves in the back. Jess put up Tom McKenzie, and Glazer's immediately like, nope, fuck every other deal. I'm bidding. And then after that,
no.
like,
Before that, she fucked me on Martell. My Martell should have been $1. She fucked me on Martell. I paid 13. I was like, you're paying 17 for fucking McKenzie. Fuck you.
So it's not that I'm that big of a degenerate. I am a degenerate.
Hey, Jesse started
Trey
making
also.
deals.
How did that work for John Palmer? Rip.
Didn't work out. Case in point.
Oh, well, that's the other saltiness, which we
I'm
can
just
also
the
get
only
to if
one
you
that
want.
I'm just the only one that no one stabbed me in the back. They just let me have it.
Because you're the one who made the original deals.
Also, I think people kind of just like love the memes. I know it literally makes. I think Sean Emberley, any night where he's like, "Oh, I had a rough day at work. That date didn't go well. Oh man, I lost those games." He can always say to himself, "At Thrones Toberfest, I was worth 20 Matt Gaimans."
Also,
Like, I literally think that keeps Sean like warm at night.
He made
in
the
the auto-
semifinals, and Matt Gaiman didn't make the extended cut.
He
So
lost his
like,
Matt's
win-in.
a-
He lost his
Matt's a
win-in.
very good player, but like literally half the kings
best.
were like, half the kings were like, I don't know who Matt Gaiman is. I was like,
yeah,
okay, that's fine.
I wouldn't have been on that. I would have spent if I knew I was getting Martell, I would have spent easily $15 to $20 on that.
So that's the whole corruption, guys. It was nothing insane.
Rotten to the core.
I mean,
So what
I
else
think,
did we?
I think it was super fun.
I mean, the fundamental question, and I mean, this is more of a theoretical, like people could think about this, is like two questions. One, was anyone unhappy with the king, queen, regent that they ended up with? Like, did they feel like based on these shenanigans that they were cheated out of some sort of experience. And based on the feedback and in the survey that people filled out, and I have received some absolutely note if I could do S/fun feedback from people about the event in this survey that I definitely appreciate and think is very useful and valuable. But overall, like when it comes to the Regent questions and the team questions, people are overwhelmingly positive. Like, you know, like people like, now some people are upset about the integrity of the draft, but overall people were happy with their region, happy with their team, feel like they were treated well by their team. So the question is, if it was more fun for a majority of the regents to have this back of the ground shenanigans, who is the draft for? Like as an experience, right? Is it for the 8 regents doing the drafting? Is it for the 8 regents doing the drafting and the people watching it? Or who is the draft for? Like, I mean this not just as like a rhetorical question. I mean this like legitimately is something people who want to run these events should think about, right? Like who's the draft for, right? Because at the point when you go into it's Schrodinger's Thrones tournament, going into the box, right? It can be amazing, it can be not be amazing. You have no idea what team you're going to end on. If it increases the skill and pleasure and all these things for the regents, that they have these backroom deals, whatever. And if you think these backroom deals do not happen in traditional sporting events, you're a fool. Like where like is that okay? And if it's for the viewer experience and the fact that it's really obvious to anyone who follows competitive Thrones that Matt Gaiman is not worth $1, and that immediately, like, whether or not you think Matt is worth $10 or $15 or whatever, he's definitely not worth $1.
Right.
Like, definitely not.
So here's
like, go ahead. I got big thoughts on this.
All right. So my thing is like, because I saw it in the comments in the past couple of days. Would people feel differently if, like, after the deal was struck and it happened? Would people feel differently if, like, the information was given to the host to be like?
We'd have to have time. There's no time during the draft. The draft was so pressed for time.
I'm just saying, like, if it's for the, like, I think between the 8 of us, between the 8 kings, that all that stuff made it insanely more fun. Like, that draft was so much fun because of the shenanigans that were going on, and way more competitive.
Here's the thing. I'm sure it was fun for you 8, but the draft was not set up for that in mind. You were playing the wrong kind of draft to do that. It should not have been an auction draft. There's very specific reasons why an auction draft is used, and it needs to be kept kind of without those deals. It's why, if you want to do that, fine. Like, you can do that. But the fact that no one stopped and thought, will there be consequences to this draft if we just make deals? Right. Well, someone should have stepped forward and say, hey, wait a second. We're doing the wrong kind of draft if we're going to run it this way. It should have been a snake draft. Because in a snake draft, you can make all the deals you want. You can take your time, and you can make those deals public. Like, it could have been an amazingly fun experience for all 77 plus 8 people who are playing. Because to answer your original question, Roy, that's who the draft is for. Because we are broadcasting it. It's not for the 8 people who are drafting. If it was, we would have never broadcasted it. It is a community building event. That's what these things are for. They're not so like 8 people can, josh each other and have fun backstabbing or not backstabbing. No one else was in on it. So I'm sure for the 8, including the hosts of the cast, by the way. So I'm not really that salty, but I am salty about this. Like, the format took a lot of time to massage and get right for the auction format. And then when you do that, it's like, wait a minute, this shouldn't be an auction then, because the deals screw up all the evaluations. Like, the evaluations are meaningless at that point. So why are you doing it with an auction? It should have just been a snake. Then you can trade picks. You can reserve players. You can take your time because you're going in order and you're not bidding, so you don't have that pressure of bidding. Like, you could have literally done it out loud and say, I'd like to trade my next pick, or I'd like to hold off on this player, I'd like to reserve this player, and we could have announced it. It could have been part of it, but instead, I don't think the format's bad, but it didn't work out right.
So while I agree with that, once deals happen, and they're extremely hard to police, but once deals happen, like, what you're missing is I have responsibility not just to the people watching, but to the people I draft, right? Like, I want the people I draft. I'm going to ask a lot of them. I'm going to ask a lot of their time. I'm going to ask a lot of their lives in playing games and testing and going over things and reviewing things. You were in the fucking giant chat, right? Like you saw how much I was bothering people about shit. Like if I'm going to require that of people, I have to at least do what I can to give them the best chance to win the tournament. And if I'm going to ignore deals when other people are making deals, I am not doing that. I am asking them to sacrifice that and then not holding up my end of that bargain. I played one of my
That's
least
not
favorite decks in the game.
That's not at all what we're talking about.
Deals.
No,
That's not what I'm saying. Yeah.
the question
So
is,
I like
should
the
we
deal making.
allow deals at all, or should we not?
So here's what I'll tell you, Sid. Now that like you heard the truth about the deals and all this stuff, so you even just added on to it. But when I came to California a few weeks ago to visit Alejandro and play in the tournament, we had this conversation,
Ooh,
and
interesting.
yeah. Well, I mean, and I love it. He didn't try to at all, but he made me see that side of it, and I felt guilty. And if I feel guilty about something, it probably wasn't the right thing to do.
That's right. You're my.
So do I like look back and think it was fun, like to compete with regents and stuff like that? Absolutely. Should I have asked Roy before I just went ahead and did it? Yeah, I should have. I felt like I disrespected, and if I hurt anyone's feelings, I am sorry. I think it's funny. I do think it's funny. I do think it's
You
like,
definitely didn't hurt my feelings, Jesse.
the Matt
so
Gaiman
don't
as a
worry about
dollar
that.
thing is
It's the
worth
best.
it. Maybe
I mean,
all of it.
The thing
But
you have to understand is
it not only
selfishly we talk to
devalued-
Matt Gaiman every day.
yes,
Here. Let me be clear, Jesse.
it
I don't
devalued
think.
players and it devalued houses to where, well, yeah, it definitely devalued houses for sure.
Well, and that's okay. Like I don't really care about the ultimate values of players or houses. It's the choice to do that just created like an entertainment piece that didn't work. You know,
So
like
if I'm watching a draft about a card game for 4 hours and I don't understand what the true value of things are and what has made a deal on and what hasn't been made a deal on, I'm then like, oh wait, was that a steal or was that a fucking deal? Like, I don't know what's happening. Like when Mike got Greyjoy for 12, there was no deal made there actually. Like we just gave him Greyjoy for $12 or whatever he paid for it. Like
I was
and that
the only house deal was Martell, as far as I'm aware.
correct.
right.
Yeah,
So
so
two houses
I
went
do-
for $1 though. It's like these people are too smart. Something's wrong.
They-
Yeah,
they-
going on?
Yeah.
They both agreed at that point. They
Right.
were like, "You take this
Right.
one, I'll take that one."
But that, like, I mean, I think that at that point, I mean, I think that deal, which happened, as I understand it, live
It
in
happened
the
live.
chat.
Literally,
Was-
Vac was like,
Right.
"I'll take Bear if you take Lanny."
That's the
Winter was
better end of that
coming,
deal.
Like, I think
and so am I.
I think that
Ugh.
that deal is far from a level of something complaining about to these like premeditated, because that evolved naturally from the draft as it was going across within the valuations, right? Versus these premeditated, like Matt Gaiman is worth 20 Sean Emberley's. Deals.
No. Reverse that. Reverse
Oh,
that.
excuse me.
right
Sean Emberley is worth 20 Matt Gaimans. I apologize.
That's how that
Let's be clear. 20. So one Thunder Bay equals 20 lobsters. So,
that seems right.
but
Yeah,
like
to be clear, I don't think anything morally wrong happened. I don't even think you have anything to apologize for, Jesse. I just wish, like, I wish as the commentator of it that I knew what was happening, because I would have like been like, whoa,
So-
wait a minute, we're in the wrong format, guys. Like I've done this a lot. We need
so
to be
the
doing
fundam-
Snake. Like we need to switch this up.
fundamental
want to
question
see
that
how
I've
he
had
loves.
about this, and this is just a classic problem that I feel like I have with People and Thrones content, was when the draft happened, like I didn't hear from anyone who was like, the draft didn't have integrity. The draft wasn't fun to watch. The draft,
I
blah,
did.
blah, 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 blah.
I did that night.
Did you read the
Alejandro,
chat?
Alejandro was like, "What the fuck is going on?
Yeah,
That's
Like,
fine.
what is happening?"
So Alejandro didn't say that to me.
People
No,
Yeah,
he
were
as a
asked-
commentator, Roy, I was going crazy the whole time. I'm
I
like,
know,
John
and
Palmer's
what I heard
nuts.
was people
Who
enjoyed
is it? Is
Now,
he asleep?
No.
Did someone's power go out?
to
Like
be
I was
fair,
lots of stuff.
the commentary / draft experience of Jesse's tournament was much fresher in people's mind, which was god awful, as I told Sandy the
It was
day
bad.
of as it was going on. So you
so
know,
bad.
Sid, like everything's all about comparison. It's been several months.
Was I part of that team? Was I part of
No,
Was I
no,
part of that team? No.
that?
no. I should have asked.
So,
Yeah.
This whatever the hell that was. So,
I was a regent, Jesse. I couldn't do it. I was a regent. Remember?
I know. Oh, that's right. Yeah. For the Lanny region.
I just did
so
really
that-
badly as a regent. So
If you
you forgot.
But I think we've talked this subject out. There was one other thing that I think people want to know about free folk slash what was the other thing that got changed? Free folk slash restricted list. All right, so 2 of those.
Matt's
we'll
getting
do free
destroyed
folk
in the
first.
chat. We have to move on, or he's going to just quit.
Free folk. So there was a gentle person's agreement to not play free folk before the draft. That was, I think,
6 teams discussed and agreed on, I think.
and agreed on, which 2 did not, or did not feel like they were obligated to follow it.
Or Jesse just missed it. He was out.
And then, so I mean, which
Yeah.
is perfectly reasonable. And this is entirely on me. I should have just banned free folk, which was my national inclination, because I'm a softie and I want to let people, do the right thing on their own. It's one of my great character flaws, and consistently causes me trouble in organizing these Thrones things. After the draft, people, and that's when free folk began to have its first tournament experience. People were like, wait, we need to make sure that we firmly ban this. And it was voted, I believe, 6-2 to ban it.
I'm always on the losing side of bets, guys. I am always on the losing side.
And it was very controversial. It was very hotly debated.
By one. It was not hotly debated. I gave up very quickly.
But it was, and I received a lot of feedback at the time from people.
Jones is in the chat. I'd like to know what he thinks about it too, since it is literally we're all playing in his format.
But literally, here's my suggestion to Ryan: ban free folk. It violates the format. It should have been banned immediately from my event. Like, I regret not just putting that in the rules.
I don't think I'll ban it.
I think you should.
I love it.
You might love it, but I think it's
just
breaking
wrong
the
for the
spirit
format.
of the game.
I love it too, but
free
for the
folk
format,
more? We have to repeat it. Do you ban free folk for more?
Uh-oh. Am I in the
Yeah,
right?
he says
Oh, yeah.
yes, it is banned.
All right.
It's
If Ryan
not-
and Roy both tell me to ban it, then I'll ban it, I guess.
But
I'm on the losing side of bets every fucking time.
But you're on the winning
other
side
thing
of
would
life
be-
when you listen to those guys. So you're
the
Yeah,
other
that's
thing,
fair.
conveniently, is one of those situations where I love playing tournaments and hosting tournaments in the most real format possible, which is why, for example, which I learned from Dan Struhall and Dave Stroms, Red Saturday, for example, always makes the latest pack legal, even if that pack comes out on Black Friday before Red Saturday. So people have not seen it. I like playing in the hottest possible format. I think it's more interesting. I think the way LCGs work, the way you want to just constantly be getting this content influx. So when the restricted list was announced, I put it to the vote of the regents. Overwhelmingly, the regents voted, except for one, to support it. There was a lot of debate about that, but conveniently, that was one of those situations where Past Roy put it in the rules that I wrote out that we will play under the current FAQ, and the current FAQ was, of course, the new FAQ. And at that point, it became unanimous that we play in that. Although that regent, John Palmer, who expressed his frustration with that, it was pushed through. It was agreed unanimously once everyone was like, "Oh, it was in the initial rules." So that's sort of the drama.
I knew it wasn't gonna hurt me at all. As soon as Martin, who was the Tyrell King, was like, "Yeah, we should use the restricted list," I was like, "Okay, if he wants it, we should all have no problem with this." He's getting boned super hard here.
And I do think it made the tournament much more interesting, to be honest, as someone who was both as a participant observer, and I think made it more influential. I expect to actually see at least some of the data from this tournament going to Worlds, and which I think is a good moment to transition, unless the chat has a pressing issue it wants to throw at us.
Nope.
Nope. All right. Worlds. So this is we're transitioning. Transition. So we spent about an hour talking about the latest Thrones War offering, which, again, I appreciate everyone who came. I hope you had a good time. You should fill out the survey so I can get some useful feedback about it. And that brings us to Worlds. So Worlds is in 2 weeks. Myself and Jesse and Sid will be attending. Glazer and Buzz will be watching from afar. We are going to engage in our typical pick'em for Worlds. But before we get into that, why don't we just sort of jump into general thoughts about the meta going into Worlds and what people think Worlds will look like?
Well, I'll say normally I don't look to events like Thrones-toberfest to give you too much insight into Worlds, except in this case, I don't see any situation where pinch is not a very prevalent presence in a lot of decks. I have seen pinch work not just in Greyjoy. I've seen it working in a lot of other factions as well. And
with Banner Kraken.
well, that helps.
Nah, dude.
That helps.
Donald Noy is the nut.
Ooh, Donald Noy, pinch in the dark, pinch on the wall. I like it.
Just spoil all the sauce, Jesse. Jesse, you're kicked off the
All right,
second.
did someone just join us? Buzz?
Yeah.
Is that Sam?
Uh-oh.
Oh no, is Bratz here?
All right. Hey, Sam.
Noisy. Hello. Is
Are
it
you live
noisy?
from the bar right now? Because it sounds like there's a background
Yes.
Of course.
there. All right, Sam.
Background noise. Should we step outside?
Whatever you want to do. I don't know how cold it is in Wausau this time of year.
It's hard. So we're gonna step outside.
Okay. So while Sam is stepping outside, we want to welcome, for those of you who are watching Second Sons and don't know who Sam Bratz is, he has 2 card designs. He was a back-to-back world champion, and of course he won. And then he won the first 2.0.
Cool.
You know,
I didn't realize it was back to back.
yeah, it was he
You're
won with
good.
Dark Wings, Dark Words, and then he won the first 2.0 Worlds event, whatever that was called. It was called, what was it called?
War of the Five Kings.
War of the Five Kings.
Yeah, so he's not a 2-time world champ. He's a world champ and a War of the Five Kings champ. We like to remind him of that.
We're also, wow, we get 2 for 1 here. We also get Nick Hansen. Wow,
Nick?
the second best player in Wausau is Nick Hansen. So
Oh, we'll probably take that, I think.
That's a bold statement.
Yeah, Thrones War winner and Kubla punter. I think we give him the.
I mean, if
credit he
anyone
deserves.
else in Wassa had a card design, they would probably just be garbage.
Agreed.
Does
They
Kid
both
not
talk, right?
count? Because that's fantastic. Did Kid move away?
No, but if you're in the Wausau like random chat, like Kid hates this fucking game.
Kid and,
All right,
Joe,
so we
Kid
are
and Joe
joined
Miranda,
by-
best friends.
this Wausau duo. So Nick and Sam, do you want to join us for our traditional pick'em here? Should we add a category for them?
I can do that.
Sure.
All right.
I think that's the
Can-
intention of Buzz adding us to this call.
Yes,
Awesome.
yes.
So Buzz is going to add a thing here, but guys,
I want a single Wassa category though. I want them to have to come to agreement.
okay.
Yeah,
So I'm
absolutely.
going to throw it to Wausau though. So Nick and Sam, what do you think, broadly speaking, the world's meta is going to look like?
I think there's going to be a lot of Greyjoy pinch of powder. I think there's going to be a decent amount of Targ. And a roughly even spread of the rest of the field, except for a minimal amount of Barrow.
Seems about right.
Yeah,
Can
say
I do, I
anything.
think.
Can you check if you can add your video, maybe?
Maybe.
Try.
A weird compromising position right now.
Oh, this is going to be great. I love it. This is, by the way, new technology for Second Sons.
Yeah.
So we like all Second Sons, we're doing the experiment live. We'll do it live.
We're going to settings right now.
Here
I
we
have
go.
to only enable my camera.
Here we
Oh,
go.
by the way, Sid is frozen up
We're like,
also.
Uh-oh.
It's frozen as well. Uh-oh.
Frozen?
Sid, reset the camera.
Can you hear me?
Oh,
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah,
hear you.
we can hear you all the time. It's just-
Okay.
setting apps.
Oh, we lost him. Did we get him? By the way, everyone, you should congratulate Buzz's generosity / Sandy Barnabas's generosity for Aaron Glazer having a functioning camera and a
Said
good
that
view.
already.
That's not true, actually. It's the
Yes, the Patreon center. Yeah.
patrons that paid for it.
It's true. So, thank you for subscribing to our Patreon. So, should I have one of those like podcast / like YouTube follow us on Instagram things that I should do at the end of every episode?
No, you should do it in the middle of every episode when we have our technical issue. Well, we wait for something to happen.
So, Buzz, what is the Patreon for Second Sons if you would like to support us?
What are the
It's
odds you can just have
clickable
a camera now?
down under us somewhere.
Speaking of that, I actually need to go to your Twitch channel and give you my Twitch Prime for the month. So let's do that.
But also notable,
We have a
beyond
camera.
our Twitch Prime, we have listeners that are not in the chat because this is eventually a podcast. So can one of you idiots read this so that listeners who are not live right
Winter
now
is coming,
join?
and so am I.
Just we buzz.
Ugh.
Right?
I think I need to restart my my Skype. I will be right back.
Cool.
All right. Well,
No,
since-
my Prime
since we're having-
subscription is
since we-
actually active until
since we now I'm going to
November 8th. So,
Ooh, hey!
Oh, hey!
are they
Look at
there?
those guys.
All right, here we go. This is
Ah.
awesome. Oh, this is the kind of content that people
We are-
crave. All right, so we got this here.
Standing
And-
look.
Sam, Nick, it is good to see your handsome faces there. All right.
Oh, I appreciate the compliment, Roy.
Always, gentlemen. I'm excited to see you guys next week. All right, so let's jump into the pick'em. So let me bring up this. Okay, so tournament stats. Buzz, of course, did all the prep here. So we're going to start with the most important format in the game. Over under 54 players for Melee. Wausau, you can go first for this round.
Under.
What day is it?
What day is Melee?
There's 2 different days of Melee, so you can actually play either day.
There's
So-
Friday and Saturday, right? Or Saturday or Friday, Saturday, yeah, right?
You can play either Friday or Saturday.
True.
Can you double dip if you like?
No.
Oh yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah. No, we can't. What?
No.
I
I'm
would.
gonna go with over.
Oh.
Fine, I'll lose this bet because Sam wants to say over.
All right. I'm
Alright.
for sure going over.
I mean, LOL Melee, I gotta go under. Like, I just ran a Melee tournament. They're fucking disasters. No
Yeah,
one
but
should run a Melee tournament.
Oh, I didn't realize this.
But
Hey,
2
I
different.
was restarting my camera. Is Andreas entering or am I entering results?
You're gonna enter, but I entered for now.
Okay. Hey, you just put under for me. How did that happen? I didn't do that. I didn't say that.
I actually think it's gonna be over because you can enter in like either day. Like a lot of tournament players that used to play L5R quit that game. Like, hey, you got time, man. I think you'll play.
What day did you say it was?
You can do Friday or
It's either
Saturday.
Friday or Saturday.
They're like the best days. Easy over.
Yeah, easy over.
Not
That
at,
means
not
Sam-
at
that
54.
means-
No.
That means Sam Bross is playing Melee. Yeah.
All right. All right.
You need to tell me I'm for under because there's no chance in hell
All right.
that goes over.
All right. Aaron's under. All right, Aaron, you were the last one to say that. Over under for 44 players for Kingsmoot.
As we all know, I don't pay attention and don't know what King's Mood is, so way under.
Under.
All right.
Do we know what day it is?
It's
Nope.
It's Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Is it Sunday?
It's Sunday.
Yeah, it's the alternate format Sunday.
Apparently, we're echoing like mad.
Are we though?
Since the spreadsheet switched, says Chris Schoenthal in our private chat.
Ah, yes. Sorry, guys. It's fixed.
Okay, it's fixed now. All right,
All right,
cool.
so Buzz, you're up.
You're up, Buzz.
under 44 players.
On the Sunday, it's under.
Jesse, are you a true believer?
Under for sure.
Under. All right. Oh,
Under,
they put the
for
pressure
sure.
on me. All right, Ryan. I love you. Under.
Isn't Kingsmoot happening the same time as the Melee cut?
Yes.
So even the people who were gonna play Kingsmoot can't because of the Melee
So
cut.
it's melee cut and joust cut, right? Do they? No, joust cut will be over. So it'll just be melee cut. Man, I'm saying over. People, you know why? Because people want tickets. People want prize wall tickets.
Oh my God! What is this,
Watch
Dave
him play.
fucking Buster's? Like, I'm sorry.
It's exactly what it's become.
You
Wassa.
have to go over. You set the line. If everyone
I
goes
know.
under and you go under,
I know.
fucked.
All right,
Oh,
I'm scared.
Wassa over under 44 players for Kingsmood.
So there's someone in a big vehicle leaving right now, so I apologize for the noise. But if we
Oh,
That's
it's like
a mic for you lads.
nice
I'm
big
back home.
A huge truck, just driving out, real drunk.
Anyway, so if we take under 25, can we get bonus points?
Woo.
Yes. Yes.
Ritter will
No.
cry if it's under 25.
Sorry, if Buzz says no, he's the boss.
All right, Buzz says no, then we're out of luck.
Firm
here.
under, Wassa.
No. Well, we're under 44.
All right, here we go. This is the
So-
big one.
Snake it back to Wassa.
Oh, it's Snake back to Wausau. Over under 160 players in the joust.
I'm gonna go with under.
Under. Yeah.
Under.
Sid, what did you say?
160. I'm over, guys. I'm optimistic.
We're gaining 60 people from last year?
Guys, can we drop that down a
Damn.
little bit? Can we drop
It's
that
the
down to
over
what? Wait,
picture of
time
you.
out. Guys, this is going
What
to
do
be
you
our
wanna drop
first
to?
live change. Can we drop that to
Well,
145? 145.
Last
so
year
some
we were at
possibilities.
190.
What?
No, we were not. We were like 108 or
No,
something.
no, that's where our line was last year.
Yeah.
Oh,
So drop it to 145.
you could say
145.
120 and I'm going to say under.
All right. So so do we want to make it 140? Are we feeling 140?
Oh yeah.
I don't care.
I'm
Wausau,
gonna
does
say
that change your
under.
vote? Are you still under at 140?
140 is the new
Yeah.
number.
All right,
All right.
140 is the
I'm
new
also
line.
under. I'm also
I'm-
under.
I'm over 140. Come on.
I'm under for sure.
Rogers.
Under
Rogers is
one-
under.
Under
That's
That's
100.
It's Roy Rogers.
And
I
Aaron,
mean, guys, this number has to keep going down. We are not all agreeing on each one because Sid sucks at lines. We are going down to 130 under or over.
Under.
Still under for me.
Under.
Holy shit! This is so depressing.
Until you
Why
go
don't we do
sub
like
100, I'm going
there's
under.
no way it's as low as last year. There's no way.
All right,
100% there's a way because
so-
it's still a fucking day on Thursday.
California boys are coming this year.
Guys, it's 130, and we're still all under, but Sid.
All right.
don't
We're at
think-
130.
Hey,
Is anyone
guys,
changing their
I'll
votes?
take the point. No, let's not change it. I want these points. 130 is our line. 130 and no one's changing.
Watch it. I hope it's 125. I really
Easiest
hope
win.
it's 125.
I hope it's
Yes, whenever.
129. I hope it's 129.
I'd settle
if
at
it's one-
130.
I can't believe that all of you have turned into pessimists. This is
I hope
amazing.
it's 130 and there's a drop, so it becomes 129.
I hope it's 130. I'll drop just for Melee, just to do it. Just to stick it to Sid.
It just
Yes,
is.
king of
All
Swiss,
right.
Don't you dare.
for some melee.
All right, here we go. This was one of our more popular categories last year. Who will be we're now in props here. Who will be the first card holder? Or excuse me,
Card
first
design.
holder of a card design featured on the live stream. Glazer?
I'm gonna go. Does it have to be this game?
No.
It has to.
On the
No, it
live
can be in any
Then-
Because
FFD
Malucci
game.
was an
Yeah,
option last year. Yeah.
Then Luch.
Malucci. Okay.
I would
Buzz?
have picked Sam. I always pick Sam, but he's here, so fuck him.
What game is on
Just
Thursday?
a heads up, my phone is dropped
Thursday's
from
us.
5
We get the whole day to ourselves on Thursday.
Oh,
Schoenthal. If he's
Okay.
going, I don't know.
He is.
yeah,
He'll be
he's
there.
going.
Yes.
He'll be there.
Serious.
Jesse?
I'm going Brats for sure.
They do like
Now-
putting Sam on stream.
Guys, no one else can take Sam now. We are not repeating ourselves.
Roy?
Oh, that is unfair that Jesse stole as the official as the House Bratz fanboy. That's really unfair. Who's got a card design? So we already
Excuse
have
me.
Schoenthal.
Jones.
Were you Team
Jones,
Stark at
Jones,
Jones one?
it'll be
Oh,
Jones.
you stole mine. Take
Jones.
Jones.
All right, Sid.
All right.
Guys,
Well, now you
there's a-
guys are getting.
There's a
gotta
big
get
fat
another-
Canadian to pick.
My phone is at 1%.
Is
so
he coming?
No.
Could die. The phone could die.
1%.
Are you in his car so you can plug it in?
Is the Naj coming to Worlds?
Yes,
Yeah.
he is.
Yes,
I'll put
Yes.
Dark Naj. I'll put Dark Naj for sure.
All
that
right,
is a
Naj.
good bet.
All right, Wasa. So, who will be the first holder of a card design? Did they die? Are you
I
there?
think so. Continue.
Yeah, they're done.
Oh, they're done. All right.
That was
Rip,
fun.
that was
for the
fun.
five.
Rip. All right. We'll come back to them. All right. What will be
All
the
right.
first plots played in the final match? This
Oh,
is the
I lost. Malucci is a Friday fucking Swiss.
All right.
You-
This is tough.
The plots?
Yeah.
plots.
So
Well,
it's
wait.
am I first here?
Mm-hmm.
You got to guess both.
Yes.
Both plots.
You get points for if you only get one, you still get points.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, but the deck list will be public, right?
Correct.
And I mean, we'll be watching that final game, right? So we'll like.
No, but I'm saying like when you make the cut, your opponent gets your deck list.
Yes. So
Did
we
they-
should
did they officially
theoretically be able
announce
to
that?
get those lists. Yes,
Did
they
they
said it was going
officially-
to happen again.
Okay, so
Let's see
it's
if
not
they
gonna be
post-
it's not gonna be Harvest then.
All right, but Sid gets to go first because
All right, I'm saying Time of Plenty, and I'm gonna go at Prince Dorn's behest because I
Ooh.
think it's gonna be Martel and whomever, and I think they're gonna know to play the smart opener against Prince Dorn. So there you go. Those are my two picks. Roy, what two plots will be played?
we're gonna go with
And you can
late
of course.
summer feast
Mhm.
Nice.
and noble cause.
Ooh, noble cause. I like
Oh,
it.
you're just sucking up to Jesse now.
Yeah.
Sid already did the troll time of plenty.
Uh-huh.
So
I
I
really want to give a nice little shout out to Buzz for creating drop down menus of every single plot in the game for this category for me.
Did you really?
He did. Buzz, you are a
You are a
saint.
degenerate piece of shit, Buzz. I love it. That
Jesse,
is amazing.
what two plots will be played in the final match?
Trading and peace and prosperity.
Well, if you open trading and you know your opponent has peace and prosperity, you
Right.
might not make finals.
Well, it's because a crossing deck makes the finals, and their only other econ plot is Summer Harvest, and Summer Harvesting of peace and prosperity is real bad.
Yeah, Rohan lost on camera doing that.
I know, dude. I made people cry all fucking weekend.
Buzz, you're up. Which two plots?
Heads on spikes
Oh, God.
and
Summer Harvest. Come on. do it,
yeah, I was gonna say Summer Harvest go.
Summer
All
Harvest.
right, so
no, Late Summer Feast.
Late Summer Feast. Got it. And you can repeat on
Okay,
this.
so
you
we
don't,
are
you don't need
repeating.
to.
Okay.
Oh yeah, there's only one
'Cause
category here where
my
you have
answers-
where you can't repeat.
My answers.
Oh,
were
you can repeat.
the same as Buzz's. My answers
You
were
can-
literally gonna be the same as Buzz's. So I'm sorry.
You can
Buzz.
give
That's
another
correct.
answer that someone else gave. Yes. you
Okay,
absolutely
then it's no, I'm sticking. Fuck it, I'm sticking with mine.
can. Okay. Wait,
I'm-
did I hear right, Aaron? You're copying
Yeah,
Buzz.
that was gonna be my answer. That's why I was so pissed when he said late summer after heads. I was like, oh, you piece of shit! Like you took both of mine.
Only the tiebreaker. Do you have to at least pick one different person? We'll get to that near the end. All right. Go ahead, Roy. You want to read the next one?
Yep.
Hello?
So cheating collusion controversies. Aaron, over under half.
Pause. We have a new Warsaw member. So,
Malucci!
What
This
up?
Tom?
so he's
Hey,
gonna
Tom.
catch up for the Warsaw guys.
Okay. Let's get him caught up real quick.
All right.
First
So
card design.
all right. First person with a card design to be featured on stream. You cannot pick yourself, Schoenthal, Sam, Ryan, or Darknage.
Brad Eamon.
Brad Eamon. Ooh. Brad is amazing and nice fellow. One Star Wars card design to another. I like it.
There you go.
All right. Next thing. What are the first two plots played in the final match, Malucci? This is one of the more popular categories we do every year.
I'm gonna say Late Summer Feast
Nice.
and Forced March.
Oh,
Ooh, opening
There's-
force. I like
Nice.
And
it.
there's no A in Eamon. EMON.
Got it.
Gotcha.
then we're at. You can start with this one. 0.5
This was about to be mine first. I
/
guess we're not
collusion
snaking.
controversies. Well, since he just came in, so over under.
Collusion, it's Worlds, it's Game of Thrones, over for sure.
Over.
Did.
Isn't that a Star Wars thing though?
I'm gonna
Ooh,
say
shade.
under. There were 0 last year, and I think we continue.
For the first time ever, there were 0 last year.
There were 0 last year. There were
There
There
0.
was some kibitz in about the Bloody Mummers, but I guess it wasn't really a.
Get the fuck out of here.
Roy,
Wait,
over under 0.5.
Over.
All right, pessimistic.
After 2018.
Is it
Jesse?
considered collusion if people are scouting and get called out for it, like on Facebook or something?
If it
Yes.
becomes controversial, yes. Like if
If
it becomes
it becomes an old Facebook group style fight, yes.
yeah.
The bad Facebook group.
Over.
Over. Ooh.
Correct choice.
I love watching all my honest,
under.
optimistic friends
Under.
becoming cynics. It is making me
Wait,
so
wait.
happy.
Is Brotherhood coming?
No.
No.
Oh, okay, under.
Yeah. The right answer is under. That's not the kind of fight we have now.
So,
Our fights are all about the game being.
Yeah, I
Don't-
think we're over that kind of stuff.
make sure that the these
Oh man, we say that
things
now, but like
disappear.
it was brewing at Gen Con, and it's gonna boil over at some point.
Yeah,
All right.
well,
Hey guys, who's saying "hey" on our document? All right.
I'm trying to talk to.
Oh, what are you trying to say?
See these minus thingies.
Delete that?
Yes.
Okay,
All right.
gotcha.
So Glazer, organized play
Uh,
snafus.
do we know who's running?
2.5.
Do we know who's running the tournament? And
We have
are
no
his
idea.
initials RR?
We
He
don't
will
know.
certainly be involved as an employee, but we do not know if he's the one officially in charge.
I'm gonna
Remember-
assume
By the way, just to be clear, Sandy and I counted by the end of the first day 5 organized play snafus, and
There were a
I
lot.
did not arrive until the end of the day.
Who was
What?
running it last year?
The same old guys who run it every year.
Okay. And
Ryan was there.
Do we
Well,
know
hold on.
this year?
Do we
Do we
want
know
to change
this year?
this line from
We don't.
2.5?
We don't.
We can
No,
raise
No.
it.
we don't.
no. I think
Okay.
2.5 is fair because I'm assuming that everyone at FFG is lazy, and because Ryan Ritter got through this without any complaints at Gen Con, just like fuck it, you do it, and therefore it will be under. I have faith in Ritter.
Under. You got it. Buzz.
Under.
Jesse.
Jesse,
they're the judges outside of Ritter don't play the game. Over. There's a lot of difficult rulings now. Over for sure.
I already know Maluch's answer, but Roy?
I would go over 10.
I will also go over simply because FFG, like last year, just proved to me that
that Jesse and Roy are so negative. Holy shit!
I mean,
This
like
is the best thing in the
they
world.
they started the
Christmas.
tournament so late last year in their own fucking center that they have 100% control over. That like, yeah, I got to stay over.
But-
And that's no offense to Ryan. That's just like I want to lose points on this one.
Didn't
I want to lose
didn't
points on this.
they shape up really good for Gen Con?
At Gen Con?
Yeah,
That's true.
sure. So that's what I'm basing it on. So.
But
This is
but
the one
but there are other
category
people
I'm
Hey,
not
hey,
who are
Roy,
not Ryan
Roy,
Ritter who
Roy,
work at
you
FFG
should-
that went out there.
You should read the chat. You're gonna cry. But let's continue.
Oh,
Malucci?
no.
Oh, for sure, over.
He's over.
Welcome to the Brotherhood, Roy. Lol.
Yeah.
we saved you a shirt.
Yeah,
And
go,
bandana.
yeah, rip.
All right, Maluch, you get to start. How many people who did not play 1.0 will make the top 8?
Competitively.
God.
Yeah.
That game doesn't matter.
I want to see you say 8.
It's not gonna
There's
be
no
eight
way.
Dark Knights
There's
there.
no way I can say 8. 4.
4. I say. I'm gonna say 5. I think it's a little bit more. Roy.
6.
Woo!
It's gonna be Naj and Sam.
Jesse.
7.
Wow. Buzz. Jesse's new blood. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I thought I was going high at
5.
4. Like, I thought you guys were going to
Nope.
give me crap
Dark
about
Knight.
that.
It'll be Dark Knight or
5.
Wama at 1.
Oh, Wama too. Yeah. I should lower mine to 5 too. Then forgot Wama was gonna be there.
Buzz, did you say a number?
Am I muted? 5.
I've got you.
5
And
non-1.0 players.
Aaron.
3.
Yep.
3.
3. Ooh.
E.
Glazer always in there for the 1.0 players.
Wama, Naj, Emberly.
How many were there last year?
Rogers.
It was much smaller than we thought. We can look that up
Yeah.
later.
I think it was 3 last year.
So the
3
next
non-1.0 players or 3 1.0 players?
3 1.0 players.
3 1.0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So over under 6 Californians in the graduated cut, Glazer.
Under.
Oof. The shade. The shade.
Wait, is the
Uh,
graduated cut like you have to go
Day
14?
day 3,
Yeah.
basically.
Oh, wait,
So-
all you have to do is go 4-2.
We had like 7
Wait,
people there
time out.
last year and
Time
still
out,
put
time
like
out.
5 in the graduated.
all you have to do is go 4-2. They're only running
Yes.
6 fucking rounds of this shit. Oh, then over. That's dumb.
That's
Like everyone's
graduated.
gonna make. I thought it was 5-2 or 6-2.
Oh,
then
no.
it's-
everyone's not gonna make it.
All the
Dude,
you're
NorCal
over.
boys are.
Do we know how many Calis are going? A bunch, I guess.
They're
15
like
or so.
10 to 15.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're
Well,
basically
over.
betting on it like half.
Alright. Is everyone gonna assume over? Because then we can just raise.
If,
the
if
number.
they say 15, then yeah, over.
All right, make the number 10.
Wow.
No, the number should be
10?
8. I think
Say
the number
8.
should be 8
10's
for
nuts.
California, and the number should be 8 for the Midwest. And the number for Wisconsin should be 5.
All right, I'll switch it. Now.
Oof.
5 for Wisconsin, you think?
I mean, if
They
Eamon's
do good
playing,
at Gen Con. They
Oh.
Aren't they
crash-
like
they crash
5
hard at
going?
Worlds.
No, I think
I mean-
like Chudsburg and everyone's going.
Can we make California 9?
Judgeberg's not going. He's going to the GP
It's like-
that weekend.
What a cuck.
Guys, can we make California 9 because it's significantly better than the Midwest in every way?
No, I would like
No.
whatever number you put California at, put the Midwest there too, buddy.
Our new numbers are 8 and 8 and 5. I approve as the original line maker. Aaron, are you still
Yeah,
over
No,
at 8?
now I'm under, but I'm much more iffy about it.
Buzz, are you still over?
California, 8.
8. Over.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hard at that number, right?
Yeah.
Jesse, 8 for California.
Well, hey, could California please post in the chat what they're taking? That'd be great. No, I'm going over for sure.
All right.
I think I'm going
all right.
100% for NorCal. Like everyone going for NorCal will make it.
I think it will be. There's like 15 people.
I think like 12 or 13, right? So there's
Somewhere between 13 and 15. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think
I
that's our
think, accounting for variance, it's going to be 7, so under. And that's not meant as shade at California.
I go over. Glazer, we could have put the line at 10. I'd have gone over.
Me too, dog.
Then why isn't it at 10? That's so much more interesting.
Because I
I'm
believe
just-
hard. We
Sid,
had like 80% made the cut last year, and that was with a skeleton crew. Like I just
You
All
can
right.
say
I mean,
100%
You
I'd
guys,
do it.
you guys had good decks last year, and this year your decks are trash. So
that might be true. We'll see.
Actually, I think it was the other way around. Their deck was pretty trashy last year, to be honest. That landing Rose was not particularly good.
Verizon's
I
got some
mean-
salt
I mean,
in the Facebook.
one of us made day 2 Roy, and his name was Sid and not Roy.
That's true. But my 2 people brought my deck. We had a 50% placement rate. So
Hey, I think only 2 people brought my deck.
that's not true. There was Johnny was there. Chris played it.
Johnny wasn't there.
Johnny
Everyone was
there.
Everyone was at Stolic. It was just me.
Let
and Chris.
Malucci answer, guys. Can we let
Malucci.
answer?
Over.
Over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the California
Yeah,
song there.
dog.
That California love, dog.
All right, back to you, Maluch. Over under 5 from Wisconsin in the graduated.
Who's going from Wisconsin?
All right, so
Sam, Nick, Platt, Bohan, Peters. What's your favorite guy,
Eamon.
Aaron? Eamon, yeah. Who's your favorite
You
guy
said-
that you'll have the teacher?
John
You said
Peters,
Bohan. Ryan
Ben
kid
Weslowski's going,
Leonard.
Ryan Leonard's going.
Leonard, that's
Um,
what
I'm gonna go over.
Yeah.
I love Wassa, but they underperform at Worlds. I'm going under.
You know, Besides those 4 card designs from that town, sure.
5.
Hey, that one time. Roy, over under 5.
Gotta say over for my boys from Wausau. So
There you go. Jesse,
Over for sure.
over. Buzz,
Over.
Oof. And Aaron.
I'm under. At least 3 of them will bring jank.
Yeah, there you go.
Well,
They
it's good. They're gonna
You
crush
never know
anyway.
what version of sand.
Yeah,
you're
we
gonna
still have to beat them.
Okay, pause. We have one added from chat under props.
get. Ooh, what is it? I'm looking.
You can wait. Okay.
over under. How
a
many
game
people will
one
get a game
loss?
1 loss from not submitting a deck list? That's going to
Okay,
be
that's
all right.
pretty
I'm going to
good,
immediately say over because then that person's going to be named Jonathan Andrews because he is not going to submit his
Wait,
deck list on time.
What's our line? Because that's a good one. What's our line?
0.5.
0.5.
Really? Oh my gosh.
It's the first time we've had this problem.
I'm going over.
I'm going over, and that person's going to be Jonathan Andrews. Of
Or
Colin.
No,
Jake
it's not,
Platt.
motherfucker. I will
Or
kill
Jake
him.
Platt.
Can that number be 1.5?
Yeah, I
No.
think it should be.
What?
It's got to be
Like,
1.5 or we're all
It's a
kicked over.
technical issue. Like someone's just gonna forget. Like they're just gonna
Yep.
forget.
Make it 1.5.
All right.
All
Well,
right, 1.5.
Platt was talking about whether or not his Canadian Nationals bye is canceled out by his first round loss at Soderfest. So, you know,
All right,
it's
let's
definitely gonna be
keep
over.
rolling. Let's keep rolling here. Malucci, over under 8 Midwest.
Wait.
in the
Are
graduated.
we not doing the rest of this? Because we only have like 2 answers for over under game
3
1
under.
loss.
0.5. Over under.
All
Aaron.
right.
All right. Well, it's over for 0.5. Someone's except for somebody.
It's the first time we've done
I'm
this
getting a
category.
free. I'm getting a free point, so that's fine for me.
Buzz,
I'm
you going
on.
over?
0.5. I'm gonna go.
No,
over.
I am under already. You said
Oh, you're under. Okay.
over.
Oh wait. What if someone doesn't submit it and FFG decides to not give them the loss?
That's a drop, not a loss. That's like not showing up.
No,
That's
they've
different.
announced it.
No,
It's
no,
part
no.
of their tournament rules. They'll follow
Yeah.
it.
If they screw it up, that goes under organized play snafu. Then not under
Yeah,
this
so-
category. All right, Aaron, what were you?
What? Where are we?
The 1.5 deck list submission.
Oh yeah, way over.
Okay.
Oh, it's 1.5. 1.5.
Yes.
I'm under. 0.5.
Jesse?
I'm still gonna
I'm
say
over. I'm over for sure.
I'm
All
under.
right. So
I
we'll-
have no faith in FFG
we'll
or
start
the
with
players anymore.
we'll start with Malucci. Over under Greater Midwest.
Oh, they're gonna hate me under. Under.
They're trash. Of course they're under.
Yeah,
All
they
right,
already
Sid?
hate me. It's fine.
I'm under. Sorry, Midwest. I love you, but I'm
That's
under.
fine with me.
I'm over, man. There's
I'll
a lot
take
of
this
them.
easy points.
There's a lot of them.
That's an over,
Put the
Jesse.
work in.
Oh yeah, there's no way.
Buzz?
Chicago's rolling like 12 deep with Jerry Crane's deck. It's gonna fucking roll.
Okay. Greater Midwest under.
And Aaron.
Under.
And wait, so and even so, like I'm going over, and Daryl and I count for the Lances. We're not even counting for the Midwest, and I'm still
Correct.
saying over. Yep.
You know,
Yeah,
Aaron,
you can only
you
get
have
one.
been under on all of them. Some people will make the graduated cut. I just wanted you to
Yeah,
know.
but they're-
Some
Yeah,
people
yeah.
will, in
But
fact.
He's gonna
But
go
they're-
over
but
with
they're
Europe.
not-
He's waiting for Europe. He's waiting for his hard on for Europe.
Excuse me. Am I not
Uh,
going over for my own meta?
All right, over under 4 long lances, Aaron.
Well, very obviously over. Every long lance makes the graduated
How
cut. Not
how
a
many
single
long lances are there?
There's
Six.
myself,
There's 6 going.
Darknage, Emberly, Daryl, Matt.
Matt, who's our $1
Jesse.
player, might miss it.
Those are the
And
people
Sean
who
Ma-
tested with and
And
what?
Sean McCallum.
Oh, Sandy.
And Sean. So seven
And
of us.
and Sandy. And Sandy.
Yeah. So
well,
8.
yeah, well, and Schoenthal, but like
No.
tested
If we're
for
but if
Worlds.
if we're giving Sandy the deck, which we keep fighting about, since we're giving Sandy the deck, he counts as a lance. If you're taking our fucking deck, you're a lance.
All right.
No, over. You said about 6 people.
4.
Yep.
Yeah, but 4 is the
7.
line.
Yeah.
Over.
Jesse, over. Roy.
Well, how am I put this? I'm on the Lances, so under.
Wow.
But then that's still so. Who's the other person who doesn't make it to get us below? Is that
Well, I
still
mean-
plenty? So you and Gemin are gonna hold the whole team back? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
No,
I'm gonna
Matt's in the
flop.
cut
I always
for
do at
sure.
Worlds every year, and I was
Who-
way more prepared last year.
Who has ever played this game and won't go 4-2? I mean,
Yeah.
those who don't make
Question.
graduated cut are people who play Star Wars or something the other days.
Yeah, I think they're over. I think they get 5.
I mean, you could just run into variants. Like, I mean, I'll be really honest with you. I put like weeks of prep into Worlds last year, and I just played my bad matchup 4 out of the 5 rounds I played.
Sure, that will happen to you, Roy, and then the other 5 people on the team will make it.
I'm
Yes,
gonna
we
go
played
over.
Bring 11
Builders.
people this time. I think variants will get 2 of us.
You said over,
What'd you say,
Tom?
Luch?
I'm gonna go over.
He's over.
Oh, thanks.
I also
dog.
want to switch to under on the late deck submission because you guys
Nice.
bumped it to 1.5.
Okay.
Also notable, like, we just had 3 of the top 4 at your tournament, Roy.
Glazer, I am 100% cool.
No,
I
no,
don't
I'm
give
very
a shit about
I'm
winning this
very,
competition.
I'm very disappointed in you. Very
All right.
disappointed.
Europe.
You really are.
Luch.
Maluch, 6
How much?
over under.
How much Europe is going?
Probably 15 people.
15?
Then that number's
Probably.
got-
was-
Is it that many?
So
Is
it's
it
I think
many?
it's like 12, right?
it's a hold
Well,
on.
how
hold
many
on, hold on,
national
hold on, guys.
champs
Think
are
about
going?
this. There's
Like
about
10.
9 or 10 national champs.
So
Plus
Darren,
Wama.
Darren Hazelden, Wama, Keb, Tomas, Nico,
Dixon.
LaPlante
Yeah.
and his friends. We don't know how
Joe-
many will be there.
Joe and Gabby are going.
Mhm.
LaPlante, 2 other people, Joe, Gabby. I mean, there's like 15 Europe. Frankie wrote it. Wait, is LGB part
Wait,
of?
Frankie's
No.
going?
Yes.
No. No.
I'm gonna go
Wait,
over.
Frankie's going? They're way
Yeah, he's-
over. That number is way too low. Even at 8.
8?
Those
No,
are
no,
all,
no,
like,
that's not.
I know.
Those are all
8,
national
8
champions.
is fair. 8 is fair.
What national champion isn't going fucking 4-2?
Well,
Okay.
one of them last year because I beat him in the win and in game. So, whoops.
Oh, okay.
Got him.
So
That's that American love, baby.
I bought him a beer at Sensors that night. But I will say all national champs but one made day 2. So I'm also over.
And it's what were you the one who knocked them out, Sid? Knocked out the lone
I
national
did.
champion? Is that why you
I
know
did.
that?
Felt real bad about that. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I think this is an over as well.
yeah, they have
Europe-
buys too. Like, this number is dumb. This is so over. It's ridiculous.
Okay,
All right.
10.
Still
go 10.
over.
Go 10.
10.
Still
They
over.
don't all have buys.
They don't all have. buys.
Many of them
Okay.
do. About
Most of the
half
winners
do.
So
Like 6 or 7 have buys.
Don't
Of like,
care.
I think it's got to be higher than that. There's got to be like 8 or 9 national champions that are gonna be there, and there's like 18-ish.
No,
8 or 9?
Not,
There's not
not
that
all.
many.
Not
No,
not
no.
all national champions send theirs, and we
Yeah.
we have our Nordics like 1 week before.
So you're
with
signing
this
for the
week-
next year.
Yeah, we send next year.
And an American
So is the-
winning Nordics this year. That's weird.
If the line is 10, I'm going under. I'm
gonna go over. I have faith.
I'm going under for sure.
Yeah, if the line is 10, I want to switch to under.
Gotcha.
All right, I'm
could-
gonna go over.
You
I
can
was
keep
just-
it. You can keep it at 8, and I'm going under.
Oof.
Oh, phew.
At
I-
8,
I-
at 8, I would say over.
I was
Okay.
I was just in Poland. It's over.
You're over. Oh.
They don't know how. Americans aren't gonna know how to play against their weird shit.
All right,
They play-
Aaron.
Americans play against the same 6 decks forever. I don't. Who the fuck lives in Minnesota? Under. I don't care.
2.5 under.
Stop. Can you stop asking me about places that don't exist? Fuck my girl. It's fun.
I mean,
Buzz?
they're gonna have like 50 players over.
Yeah. Ooh, I like it. There's always a couple. They're not people you know, Aaron, but they're from there. Jesse. 2.5.
Brandon Zimmer, Chris Heinrich, Ben Barnhart. Over.
Boom.
Oh, Ben
Right.
Barnhart's not making it. Ben's out. He's sessing with Fred's lame group. No chance. Why
Under.
doesn't the red?
I
Coats
last
have him?
year I was
Time
bullish on bullish on Minnesota and got punished. So this year I'm gonna go
Hey,
under.
I'm
Guys,
under
time
as
out.
well.
Why isn't Red Cloaks a separate meta?
Because teams
They
have to
haven't-
matter.
Ah, that's what I wanted you
They
to
gotta
say.
make themselves known. They need a statement tournament before we give them a line.
They have to
Giving
show
them a line.
They have to show
Oh.
up to a tournament without a deck that's mine to, like, I don't know, B&C.
All right. We are missing though. We are missing the Mummers / Pacific Northwest Indy. Should they be on there? Because their breakout tournament last year was Worlds.
Yeah.
with
No, I
Hanson.
think the thing is like, because So Kyle James and Alex are going, but like none of the others, and like Jim is part of Chicago now.
Right.
Like
he's
even though they
Midwest.
still test together, but Jim counts for Midwest.
So
CT
then
and
hang on.
Jess count for the Midwest.
Why
Okay.
are Chicago and Indiana the same meta if they're not building and testing together?
They're not. It's just the greater Midwest.
Right.
Then, like California builds and tests every single.
No, they
other
don't.
year.
No,
but
northern and
NorCal
southern are very
definitely does
separated.
not.
Yeah.
Yes,
NorCal
and they
SoCal
take
are
it seriously.
completely separated.
Next
comes
next
to
year we're separating all these. I want like.
All right, that's
individual
fine. Next year we can do
metas.
that. All right.
I'm gonna go
So
over.
Malucci, you're
Over.
over. Okay. And it's your pick again, Malucci. East Coast in the graduated cut, 1.5.
I think a whole like 3 people are going, by the way, but one of them is you.
Yeah, I was gonna say who else from the East
Do
Coast
you
is
think
coming?
anyone?
Wait,
Mike,
so
your,
wait.
your former king.
Mike
This guy.
Arroyo, Sean
That's easy.
McCallum.
Over.
Sean McCallum
Sean?
lives in the Carolinas. Does that
That
count?
counts. That
No,
counts.
he counts. No, McCallum is Lance's.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
Like, look, he's been busy. He's Lance's.
All
It's
right.
in the blood.
I'm still gonna go over.
I'm going over. Luch and Arroyo. They're both making the graduated cut.
Dude,
I'm
trust,
going
no cut.
Roy, I
Uh,
think you'll be there, Luch, but
I'll
just
say over because I love the East Coast. So
I'm such
You're
a mark. Everything is over for me except Europe. It's just because I know they're better than me and I
Over.
won't admit it.
And Aaron.
Jesse, check
So-
my line.
So I'm gonna go under, and that's hilarious, Buzz. I'm gonna go under because there's other things to do on the East Coast, so we don't have as much time to prep for Thrones.
Got it. Yeah. Unless you're part of the Lances, you just
Yeah,
have
in
a
which
life.
case,
Got it.
you're actually absolutely insane and do nothing but Thrones 18 hours a day.
yeah, that's true.
That chat does
All
not
right.
stop.
All right.
Well, we're
so
getting there. We're about halfway
all right,
done.
Glazer over under. Jakob Holtman, king in the
Wait,
north
what?
in the top 8.
Over under 2.5. King in the north in
Over.
Platex in the top 8.
Over. That's too easy.
Over.
That number's got to go up.
It's not going to go up. Can we?
No,
I would prefer that
under.
we do not adjust numbers going forward. Let's just do it.
Under.
Do it. Under. See, look, we got an interesting line. Jesse?
Under.
Ooh, Roy?
Over. It's going to be 3.
How good will Targ be? Yeah, I'm going to say over. And Luch?
Under.
That was a great line, Glazer. You don't get to talk anymore. We just want to hear your input on your
You
bet.
don't get to talk anymore. You just get to talk.
All right. Tom, marched over under 3.5.
Over.
I'm under on that one.
Wait, is this forced march or march to the
No,
wall?
March to the
March
wall.
to the wall.
Oh, okay.
I am under. March to the wall is leaving people's plot decks. # restricted list.
Jesse?
Under.
And Buzz?
Under. If it was forced march, it would be over.
Over. Yeah.
Ooh.
You could
Over.
put the line
I
at
was
7.5.
thinking it was forced march. I'm fucking under too, dude.
All right, I'll make you under.
You
So can
can
we
put
change-
the line at
do we care about
7.5.
march?
Oh my God! I told you no.
Just-
Aaron,
Nope.
what?
That's
Over
so
under.
boring. It's under. It's obviously under. That's so boring.
And when it's
Okay,
over,
we
all
have
of you
like
will
40 categories, Glazer. One of them or 2 of them could be boring. All right, let's move on. All right. 2.5 hands judgment, Glazer.
Under.
Is that 2.5 decks with hands judgment
Yes.
or
Yes.
copy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Under.
The
Decks
top-
with at least 1 copy.
Yeah.
Jesse?
Under.
Roy?
Over.
I'm under.
And
And
I would have taken.
Luch
would've
over?
Over.
I would have taken
Over
under.
on pinch too. For sure.
I would have taken under at 0.5 for hands judgment.
It's probably why you don't
Um,
make cuts. Oh, let's go.
All right.
Or-
Sid,
Literally
pinches.
2 days ago.
Top 4 at a
3.5.
funsies tournament. Come on, I'm talking about the real thing. All right, yeah, 3.5 pinch decks.
Over.
Sid,
Yeah, I'm over. Roy?
I will. Yeah, more than half will have a pit. Yep. Over.
Over for sure.
Under.
Buzz, you have to remember Americans are boring. They're gonna
But
play.
there's gonna be 8 euros in the top
Yeah,
8.
but he's saying it.
It's
And Aaron?
under. It's almost certainly under.
Well, that was a good line. 4 over, 2
right.
under.
Here we go. Now comes
This is the interesting
streaming.
stuff.
All right. Glazer. 1.5 Terrell main faction players in the top 8.
Under.
Buzz.
Under.
Was there still a restricted list? Under.
It is.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna say over because everyone else is under.
Did you discover something with Mace that everyone else didn't?
Yeah, man. Tyrell Summers, what I'm playing.
I think it's over. I think there'll be 2. I think it'll surprise people. And
Under.
Luch?
Under.
Under. All right. Same line, but for Night's Watch, 1.5.
Over.
I'm gonna say under. Roy?
I'm gonna say over.
Jesse?
Under.
Buzz?
Oh. Oh god. Over.
Over.
He's
And
gonna-
Aaron.
Oh, definitely over.
He's gonna text all his European buddies and be like, "Switch that free folk house to Night's Watch, dog."
All right. Same line, but Lannister, 1.5.
Under. I don't think it's close. The Brotherhood's
Buzz?
not going. Who else can play Lannister?
Under.
Jesse?
Under.
Sid.
One Lanny Crossing will make it.
Roy, you're under? With
Oh,
one?
100%.
And I'm under. Luch?
Back-to-back unders for me here. Lanny
Got
and
it.
Stark.
Hey, for
No.
guys, quickly
Oh.
clarification for the chat. It's decks having each of those plots or each of those cards. Like 2 March doesn't count toward 3.5.
Correct.
As long as you have at least one instance.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
Stark, Luch is still under at 1.5 Starks. I'm going to say over. Stark is always popular with Euros and at Worlds. Roy?
Over.
Jesse?
Over.
Buzz?
Under.
I think Euros just read Skagos and lose their fucking mind.
Aaron?
That is very true.
Yes, that's what I thought. Yeah.
My assumption is over, and I'll go one further. If someone figures out Skagos properly, that's the winning deck.
Hey, that category is coming soon. So.
Hey,
I don't know.
I trade the Lance Dexes for Skagos Dexes.
All right.
Okay.
I think we'd all agree the next line is probably where it needs to be. Barra at
It has to
25.
be. It has to be. Otherwise,
It's
you
the
can't do
only
0,
line.
right?
It is. It is the only.
Aaron, so
Yeah, it's we're
0.5
all under.
Barra.
Does anyone want to be over? Just shout if you're over.
Maybe
Under.
just to be contrarian. Buzz.
Roy, can I take Barra?
you can take Barra. There's 0% chance that you'll make it though to the top 8, Jesse. If you do,
You're not taking Barra, or I
Oh,
will
then-
travel to Olney just to.
Wait a
kick
minute.
you.
It's Buzz's pick.
I
Buzz.
trust in Bratz. It's over.
Jesse.
Under. Me and Nick Hansen, neither one of us is taking it, so it's
Roy?
under.
Oh, 100% under. 0 Barra again.
Yeah, I gotta go under. And Luch.
Under.
Under. All right, Luch. It's back to you. 2.5 Greyjoy, top 8.
Over.
Ooh, I knew. Of course, the Greyjoy.
Are you one of them, Luch?
Maybe.
He's planning to be.
Probably.
I'm going over. They're just so good right now. Roy.
Luch could give you his
I will
deck
also
list,
go
so be-
over. Sid, I'm gonna go use the bathroom, and my answer for the remaining ones of these is under. All right.
Okay, got you. Jesse. 2.5
Over.
Greyjoy.
Over.
Buzz.
Under.
There's that Euro contrarian. Aaron.
Yep, over.
Over. All right, Aaron, back to you. 2.5 Martel, top 8.
Under. Martell's trash.
This is the
Incorrect,
Martel
sir.
region.
Under.
You're still
Look,
under.
it's my
I like-
it's my favorite house. I don't think they have anything good for Worlds.
I think
Jesse?
I think the number is
Under.
2. If you said 1.5, it's over.
Okay,
Really,
all right.
I think 1 makes it, but that's it. I don't think
Over.
anyone really takes it.
And Luch.
Under.
All right, back to Luch. 2.5 Targ in the top 8.
Under.
All right. They did so bad at Oktoberfest. I think they're still good though. I'm going over. Jesse.
Under.
Buzz.
Under.
Didn't Roy say he was under on every other category? Not
He
over?
said he was.
He said
That
he was
seems-
under on every other category.
Oh, who typed those in? Was that you, Buzz?
Maybe.
Buzz. Aaron.
I think Targ is over. I think Targ, Rage, and Stark are like 80% of the houses of fucking
Right.
the tournament.
And here's a little cheeky one. 1.5 Free Folk.
Under.
If you put the number at 0.5, I'd
0.5.
give you over.
I think that was a mistake.
0.5?
I think we go 0.5.
Yeah, 0.5. Go.
Yeah.
Also,
0.5, Aaron.
under.
Still
I'm assuming no good player is going to let that happen.
All right, Buzz.
Over.
Ooh, Jesse, you were an over.
Over for sure.
And
Top 8?
Yep.
Yep, top 8. I'm an over. I think 1.
At 0.5, I'll go over.
Yeah, I love it. All right. Okay, Luch, you're gonna get the first call here, and you can, guys, pick the same. Now, last year we
The
did
Rose
make-
Road is not acceptable. We're
right.
not
We
doing
made
it
Rose
that way.
Road an illegal pick.
So
Same with Kings Road.
No limited cards, right?
Yes. So
No
we
Kings
say
Road, no
non-limited
Kings Road.
neutral cards.
Yeah.
Pinch. Pinch.
Pinch.
Gee.
Got to. Oh, jeez. I'm gonna say milk.
I think milk is cycling out a little bit.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna keep it. Roy?
Not here.
Oh, not here.
I'm
yet.
here.
Come back to him. Oh, he's
Oh,
here.
you're back.
Thinking. He's
Are we allowed to repeat or not allowed to repeat?
you are
Yes.
allowed to repeat.
Pinch.
Inch.
Smart man.
Jesse.
Old Bill Bone.
Oh yes, good choice. Good choice.
I don't even know what that card is.
You'll learn about it at Worlds, dog.
Buzz.
It's a card you need to know. No. Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do know this card.
I'm
Yeah, it's good.
thinking maybe seized. What was the
Americans
other
are too
card?
greedy, Buzz.
Are they? I thought
Yeah.
like they played seized like crazy because they hate people.
No,
No.
they don't anymore. They're too greedy.
Uh,
Unless if you I didn't think Europe was on it. I'm picking Old Bill Bone because I think Europe's on it.
oh yeah.
Yeah. So if you think Europe's on seized, I would say that. But if you don't think they are, I wouldn't say it. I don't know any good player in the U.S. that's on seized right now.
Can you say flea bottom so I can
yeah,
pick what I want to
no,
pick?
I was about to. Yeah, flea bottom.
We bottom.
Alright, cool.
It's in.
Because Begging Brother should be in every fucking top 8.
Yes,
So I'm going to say Begging Brother.
All right. Begging brother.
It's true. It's all in all of my.
Because
picks.
if you didn't say Begging Brother, I was going to feel obligated safely, but I'm just going to feel obligated to say it. Now I can just say Begging Brother and be happy.
All right, back to Aaron. Most popular agenda in top 8 decks, and yes, of course, you can repeat, everybody.
I mean, sorry.
This is probably harder than the neutral question.
This
Oh,
is
yeah.
way harder than the neutral
way
question.
harder.
I mean, I don't think it'll be a banner. I don't think it'll be Cohor. It could still be Wars. I wouldn't be shocked if it was Fealty or HRD. I don't really, I hate crossing. I'm gonna say, Wars. I'm gonna go Wars.
Wars to come.
Is that
And you
I went
don't
Alpha
hate wars? What?
But
I don't hate Wars with all the restrictions as much.
Agenda,
want it to be
agenda.
I want it to be Fealty because that would be hilarious.
If someone runs Alliance, does the Alliance agendas count, or is it counts only for agenda?
yeah, I mean,
Okay.
choose alliance because you're gonna get that's gonna be your widest net, right?
No, I mean, if
No,
if I
just
choose Ban of the
Alliance is what
Dragon,
counts.
so
just alliance.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. You're correct.
yeah, okay.
So if
so
you choose
Ban of
like
the
Dragon, you get Banner Dragon and you get Alliance, which includes Banner Dragon.
Sure. Okay, Ban of
What?
Dragon.
Wait, when did we do that?
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
Is the agenda being used?
No, if you want Alliance, you get Alliance. If you want Banner Dragon, you get Banner Dragon.
Yes, but if they use Alliance and they have Banner of the Dragon, then you should get counted for that.
I don't
Yeah.
think so. 'Cause
Dude,
then
if,
your deck is
if
really
someone
cohort
sits
deck
down to
pick.
play and the agenda flips over next to their house guard, you get it. All right. I don't care if it's Alliance, Dragon. We don't need to split hairs.
Banner of the Dragon.
Okay, got it. Jesse.
Guilty.
Guilty. That's gonna be mine. I gotta be contrary. Roy.
Crossing.
Oh God, not again. Fuck.
It's me. Do I do something random here? I'm gonna say Kings of Summer. Luch.
Oh. All right. Sid is playing builders at Worlds.
I didn't say that. I was gonna choose
choose
Fealty. So I got
We've all chosen different.
I'm going
ones.
wars to come.
Yeah, Luch.
Luch is just
All
telling us
right.
what he's playing, and he's still gonna beat us. Like he's literally just putting it on the fucking table.
Greyjoy Wars pinch deck. I think we can pretty much tell.
He was
He's
literally
planning to open
Greyjoy.
Force Marched. We're all set here.
Well, you know how we can tell us that because he didn't say Reigns.
He was literally Greyjoy Reigns until I said Old Bill Bone, and then he read it and he was like, "Nah, fuck it, I'll just play it out of wars. I don't care." Like he doesn't care. He's just gonna beat us still.
All right. So it's Luch's pick. Luch, who's the winning faction of the joust?
Greyjoy.
Yeah, that's what I'm fucking
Okay.
thought.
Shit. I'm gonna say Targ. Roy?
Roy? Is Roy
Night's
not
Watch.
good?
Night's Watch. Got it. Jesse.
Night's Watch.
Buzz.
Stark.
And Aaron.
I already said Stark.
Okay. Stark it is. Oh, Skagos, right? Aaron, winning agenda. Stark what?
Oh, if Stark wins, it's I'm assuming Fealty.
And Buzz?
Core.
Stark
Core. Ooh.
I like it. Bottom one. There we go. And Jesse? Night's
Cohort.
Watch. Cohort. Roy?
Crossing.
Crossing.
Piloted by Jim Henson.
Oh, we don't have like a. Oh, we do have the pick of the final table. Do we
I'll
get a
say
winner at the
Fealty.
final table?
This is where I go Fealty. And Luch.
Oh, I know what Tark Fealty you're talking about.
Wars to come. Fuck you, Jesse. Fuck you, Jesse.
Oh God! If Tom doesn't name himself, oh God, I can't wait.
All right, now I'm gonna make Sandy change his answer for this one because you can't sandbag yourself. But Luch, who's most likely to be kicked out or even just asked to leave, even if it's politely, by Censor's staff?
We did. Well, we did. I like how this is in the final table section.
I don't know how I got there, but there it is.
Not a prop.
That's hard.
Last year it was first person to vomit, which I think is much better. Which I think Jesse won last year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go Sandy if that's a valid option.
You can't.
Yeah,
you
you
just
can't
can't
pick
pick yourself.
Oh, that's
Sandy tried to pick himself, but I'm not gonna let him force the issue. All right.
Sandy is not you, so that's worse.
I'm on James Speck all the way.
damn. That's a good one too.
Roy?
Nick Hansen, based on Gen Con.
Now, we didn't. We made it clear that it wasn't the first person. So if multiple people do get thrown out, everyone who picked one of those people will get the points for this category. Just keep that in mind.
All Thrones players are thrown out simultaneously.
Hey,
I mean-
then we're all winners. We're all winners, guys.
We get
Based
double
on-
points. I think you get double points if all of Thrones is thrown out.
It'll
to
be
Joe Sensors.
everybody except like Bratz will be in the bathroom, and whoever picked Bratz will not get.
Based on hanging out and drinking with him at Gen Con Internationals, Ryan Jones.
Always
That's
a
fair.
safe pick.
Was
Is Booker coming?
Yes.
Booker.
Is he? I don't
Yeah.
think.
Poor Roy.
And Aaron.
And I'm gonna go because Booker is coming. Fredbird.
I mean, Booker won't go to Booker won't go to Joe Sensors though.
The manager
really?
will have a.
Yeah, he won't go. No, he
No?
won't. If he like, he can only come for one day. He'll only come in and play, and then have to leave. He's got a big case or something. So you should change your pick,
Okay.
Buzz.
And no repeats, right?
No repeats.
No repeats on this one.
Nice, Ed. Nice.
Pick a Euro. Pick a Euro. Is fucking Isian going?
Aaron,
Because
you still
Isian's a
want Fred?
real
Wait, why
chance.
shouldn't LaPlante be picked here?
Oh,
Do the French come to Joe Sensors?
No, they don't go out drinking.
I'm really surprised no one picked me. I'm pretty happy about myself.
It wasn't like first to vomit. You never get thrown out, Jesse.
I
You're too
usually
nice.
take, yeah.
All right.
Unless they have
Aaron,
like a no shirt rule, and then I always get boned by that one.
Aaron, number of card designs in the
I've gotta
winning
count.
deck.
Chill. I gotta count.
All right,
Chill.
all
I'm at
right,
at least 2, 3.
Malucci, start counting the cards in your deck.
I'm gonna go.
I'm
I'm gonna
pulling
go
up my
4.
deck list. I'm pulling up my deck
I'm
list.
gonna go 4 because I got too lazy to keep counting. But I'm gonna go 4.
Go for it. Buzz, how many card designs in the winning deck?
3.
And of course, you can repeat on this one. Jesse,
3.
Roy,
3.
Oh wait, I forgot Kevin Lannister was 1. Fuck. Damn.
I'm with Aaron. I think 4. Luch,
I need a second.
You still counting?
It's 4, right, for you?
I think it's 3. What's the 4th?
Do you not have the?
Pinch,
You not?
Pinch.
Are you not?
Pinch?
Pinch, King of the North.
Pinch.
Are you
Vince,
running
Vince,
Vince.
Wars.
and Wars? And then are you running a 1x reader?
Ooh.
You
Right
might
now-
be at 5, Luch.
I mean,
you
I
might
don't-
be at 5.
From Stoberfest deck had no King of the North, no Reader. So I'm going 3.
Newly,
Okay.
newly
so-
made
going
Lord.
3.
Newly made Lord.
Going 3.
Chapter.
Oh, okay.
No, he doesn't have any of these. What the
Going
fuck?
3.
You have to just pull up his thing.
Yeah.
All right. Here's the big tiebreaker question. You can pick repeat players, but you cannot pick both players as someone else. So Luch picked himself and Bratz. No one
When
else.
did I do that? Although I love those choices, so I'm going to leave it. But
All right. No one else can choose both Luch and Bratz, but you could choose one or the other.
Dude, don't make me last.
Oh. All right, I'll
Fine.
be last. You go, Glazer.
All right.
I don't
I
mind
mean,
going last.
Dark
I'm gonna
Knight.
give you my spot. We're gonna backroom deal it.
Dark,
and I'm
Dark
gonna give you
Knight.
All right,
Dark Knight
Naj.
versus-
Boo.
versus
And
Jesse Carpenter.
all right.
Oh wait, I want to pick fucking Gemin because he's got to be so motivated for being so trash for so long. But I think he's
Boy.
just still trash.
Buzz before me.
Oh no, because I'm going from right to left. I'm just skipping me. I let Aaron have my spot.
I mean, I'm gonna pick the table of my dreams,
There you
which
go.
is Naj Wama.
Jesse.
I'm going Dark Knight and Luch.
Ooh, that's good.
Look
So
at
much
Dark Knight.
Naj.
That would be awesome.
Able.
Luch would go down so hard; it would be amazing.
hey, I've only played Dark
Buzz?
Naj once, and I destroyed it. All right.
Yeah,
Marusi and
Nico.
Nico and Tomas.
shit.
Okay.
Tomas is on a good deck. Nico
Tomas
is
is
moving. Nico is moving this week and said he will not get to play a single game until.
Does not matter.
Doesn't need
I
it,
agree with you. I agree with you. I'm just saying.
I think Nico is the best player in the world. I just
I'm-
think that he has
I'm
to get
on,
unlucky at some point.
oops. I'm
Wait.
on Nico Hansen.
Is
Nico Hansen, that's a good one.
Hanu Loser
Wait,
coming?
Nick Hansen.
Oh no, I don't
Nick
believe it's coming to
Hansen?
Worlds.
Nick
or Jim
Hansen.
Hansen.
Well, that's Henson, isn't he?
No, it is. Yeah.
That was a joke. It's Nick. I'll put an N. There you go.
All right.
Jim's not a bad pick. Hansen won Thrones War. He probably should have won Kubla. We're gonna.
Oh, but that's just a fun tournament. Those don't even count.
Well, no, those are real ones. I mean, Thrones War
No,
counts,
any tournament, including like a 4-person store championship that has in California, is
Yeah.
worth like
brutal. It's freaking brutal.
nine.
Yeah, come on, man.
9 tournaments anywhere else.
I will say that as much as I like to give him shit, because I don't miss the cut very often, and when I looked around at the last tournament I went to in California, I looked around and it was me, Kevin Shannon, and Eric Green, and we all missed the cut. I was like, well, Lord of the Crossing's a fucking
made
thing.
the cut once in the East Coast, but that's okay.
Twice. Get the fuck out of here.
Once.
I've only been out there 4 times.
And you made it 1 out of 4. You've got a 25% hit rate in the East Coast.
Oh, get the fuck out.
Now, the tiebreaker works if anyone is tied on other points. It's not, you don't have to hit one of them. It'll go by like top placement, right? So it's whoever combined 2 people they picked had the highest placement.
I look forward to finishing last, as I always do.
Yeah, I'm definitely finished.
I dominated.
How does
last
Jesse
time.
already have 6 correct answers?
I'm trying to figure that out at the moment.
Don't worry about it, guys. Don't worry about it.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen,
the ghost
we
in
will
the
be
machine.
adding. We will be following up on this as we do in our Post Worlds episode, which conveniently enough will be our next episode of the Second Sons, which will be the Tuesday after Worlds, which would be, I believe, November 6th. 2018. We are rapidly approaching the end of the year and the end of our 3rd season of Second Sons, which has been a pretty transformational year. Buzz, for those of you who would like to support improving the quality of Glazer's camera and other important things for the Second Sons, where should they direct their attention?
To the Patreon, or if you have Amazon Prime, right here, up like there somewhere. Big follow button.
Cool. So I'm a Twitch Prime subscriber. So we look forward to seeing everyone at Worlds. If you come and say hello to me and tell me who your favorite Second Sons host is, I may or may not have promos for you, depending on the answer that you give me about who your favorite Second Sons host is at Worlds. The Post Worlds episode will also, if I'm looking at this correctly, what weekend is Stolic, Buzz? The 24th? The 17th?
Something.
17th. So it will. The next episode will actually also be our pre-Stolic episode. So we'll be doing a double header as well next time. So make sure November is the busiest month in Thrones, begun with Worlds, and then Stolic, and then Red Saturday, which Buzz will be attending at the end of the month. So it's a busy month for Thrones. Does anyone have anything else they want to say before we sign off?
Long glances, Worlds win.
I love Glazer.
I guarantee I'll take my shirt off at Worlds. More than
You
once.
take off your long glances shirt.
I
at
mean,
Worlds.
that's kind of cheating because like half of Worlds is staying at the Airbnb, Jesse. So
Dude, it's gonna be a shit show. The Airbnb.
I don't
is
even know
like-
I don't know where I'm supposed to stay in this Airbnb. So
Are you in the Airbnb?
I thought I was. See, you were going to out live on stream.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
you get a hotel room with Kramer.
I'm coming to Red Saturday. Yeah.
All
Someone
right,
asked in the chat. Yeah, I'll be there.
Oh shit! I was supposed to announce a tournament in
What are you supposed to
England.
announce?
It's happening next week. I don't remember where it is. There's a tournament happening in England. Does anyone know what the f- I'm talking about?
Nope.
No one does. Buzz killed the
Give
stream.
me a second. No.
Kill it!
3, 2, 2 late.
Uh,
Okay,
oh well.
bye.
I found it, but it's okay.